hacking into some of the big companies, the governments, accounts, banks, what have you, and it's become warfare. Cyber warfare is what it's become. So you get a little concerned now, but you're more concerned about it when you find out that someone's gotten into your account and has all your email addresses. They begin sending out these little notices under your email address. And here's how it works, and here's what I'm going to talk about at the bottom of the hour. In this case, someone took the addresses on my email list and sent out an email that said, important document on Google Docs. And I got one like that earlier in the week, and I'm wondering if maybe I was the one who opened it in the first place and it wound up infecting my own list. But anyway, I began to get phone calls this morning from my friends and texts saying, did you send me something that was an important document? And I said, no, and most of them said, I didn't think so. But I feel an obligation to tell the rest of the people on my list this has happened. I've since fixed the problem, so it can be the security is now sound on the account. But I want to let people know about it, and it's not as easy as I thought it would be. It's certainly a major inconvenience, and most of my morning I spent doing just that. So I'm going to talk to you about that at the bottom of the hour. Gary Gregory, who's the software engineer, as I said, sends emails around the world, specifically into Russia and maybe even China, is well aware of this and can give us a few tips on what to do and how to recognize. That's the thing. It's not like this virus is something that jumps off the page at you, because it's disguised cleverly. And I got a couple of emails back saying, don't worry, it happened to me 3 days ago. So it's apparently going around. So that's one of the things we're going to talk about today. Meanwhile, I promised I'd tell you about these words, 7 words, where they came from, just to give you an idea of where words come from. But before I do that, a couple of quick notes locally. Accident out on State Road 200 if you're driving, and earlier today, and you notice it was backed up, and of course State Road 200 is always backed up. 3 people hospitalized, 1 in critical condition. Had a 3-vehicle crash about 2:30 today, and all the eastbound lanes have reopened, but it's backed up. Traffic was backed up to Southwest 60th Avenue to the west. So according to police, Toyota Sienna traveling east on State Road 200 in the inside lane was stopped for the traffic light, and a witness said that a GMC Sierra truck approaching the traffic light did not brake and plowed in the back of the Toyota. So the male driver of the Toyota, whose name was not released, was taken to Ocala Regional. He's 59 years old in critical condition. Meanwhile, the driver of the van, Michael Albers, 57, taken to West Marion, is in stable condition. The driver of the truck, Dorsey Manfield, 76, also taken to a hospital, listed in stable condition. So that's what's happened out there on 200, just in case you're wondering, you're out that way, and let's hope that those people are going to be okay. Also, one quick note on real estate. We keep hearing a variety of stories about what's going on. We know that the figures showed that in December of last year, Ocala led per capita in the nation in foreclosures. Now, it doesn't mean they all happen now. It just means they're coming to the system now. And that's what has to happen before you can ever get your real estate turned around. Today's story off ocala.com reports that our housing situation, housing is treading water, and the number of closings dipped from last month, but still showed an improvement compared to a year ago. So 322 single-family homes were sold in January, down from 337 during December, but 24 more than January 2012. So that's that. All right, back to the story about words. You wonder about things like this and where these words come from. And here's a story I picked up on today from, I got to see where it's from. I think it's which website it's from. But anyway, here's 7 words where they came from, and let's see if you buy any of these. JJ, I'll use this. You have any idea where the word alligator came from? No.
Not the least bit.
I don't either, but apparently it came from the Spanish explorers. And they must have encountered these big lizards here in Florida, we know who, obviously there were quite a few of those. And tramping through our state. And the word El Lagarto is lizard. So the big lizards were referred to it for a time as Lagarto. And the EL accompanied often became an inseparable part of the word, but from Lagarto came alligator. Don't tell me how. That's how it started. So it was a Spanish word, and that's how we got alligator. Okay. The word nickname.
I know what name.
I have no idea what the word came, but according to this article, the N traveled over from the an, to stick to the nickname, which is originally called, get this, Ekename, Ekename, meaning added name. I've never heard of any of these. And a couple others, I won't go to the whole list. Here's one you might like, umpire. Umpire lost its N from a confusion in this whole translation. It came to the English from Middle French, non-per, N-O-N-P-E-R, non-per, I guess that word is, N-O-N-P-E-R, meaning without peer, peerless. Umpire, a non-pair or an umpire. Anyway.
That makes no sense.
I didn't say it made sense.
Peers.
I'm just telling you this is without peer. Obviously there's a lot of people who disagree with that, especially when they make bad calls against their team. And finally, one more. The word cherry. The word came from cherise, C-H-E-R-I-S-E, or cheris, C-H-E-R-I-S. And it came from the Old French word cherise. And the guy who could probably translate from, he's sitting right here at the microphones. He speaks fluent French, grew up in France. C-H-E-R-I-S-E. Gary Gregory, what is that word? Cherise? C-H-E-R, cherise? Cherise?
Cherise.
Cherise.
Well, I think that's a cherry.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
That's where our word cherry came from. So it came from the French.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. Anyway, also the word apron, I didn't mention it came from an Old English word from Old French. So quite a few words, Gary, came from France, your home country there. So
Oui.
Good to see you, my friend. And we got a lot to talk about today. I've been complaining and whining about this whole situation with my email account getting hacked. And as I said, it isn't like it's hasn't happened before. It just seems to be a little more serious than it used to be. So you and I will dissect all that and get down to it. You've been very helpful to me in the past when this happens, like what to do when somebody gets into your account and suddenly your friends are calling you and texting you saying, did you send me something that said an important document on it? Because when I opened it, there was nothing there, So we'll break all that down in just a minute. But I know at your house Sunday night, Oscars are going to be on.
That's right.
Your wife's going to be watching. And you've seen most of those movies, too. So Laurie will be along in a few minutes, and she'll have a few things to say. What was your favorite movie this year so far? I'll get your 2 cents in on this.
Well, I have to say that I'm shocked at the success of Argo, because I just didn't think that it was that great. But there's some kind of random movies that I saw out there that are nowhere near Oscar contention. It's probably because I went to see them with my 5-year-old.
Yeah.
I thought there's a lot of good children's movies out there, like The Secret Life of Arrietty, I thought was really good. I just can't quite say that I'm a fan of Argo, unfortunately. I think it's too much of Hollywood tapping itself on the back and saying, look how great we are, we went to rescue hostages.
Yeah.
It feels a little self-serving.
No question about that. It is certainly some of that. You've been following this Oscar Pistorius case, I know, because it's so bizarre. Have you heard the latest?
No.
The top detective in South Africa, his name was Hilton Botha. What a great name for a novel, Hilton Botha. You know what I mean? It sounds like a detective, right? Apparently, the top guy was appointed lead investigator, but he replaced a guy who, get this, this guy has been charged with murder himself. Lieutenant General Vinish Muno, Muno, whatever, is in charge after the word emerged that the Hilton Botha is facing attempted murder charges a day after he offered testimony damaging to the prosecution of Pistorius. And now, what else can happen in this case? Every day there's something else,
It's shocking. That his girlfriend was shot in a bathroom, and it's just so sad that there are two people that are young in their prime, and this tragedy happens. It's really unfortunate. I mean, I think it kind of also helps to show that this gun control issue is not just in the U.S. It's worldwide.
South Africa is apparently a violent country, one of the worst.
It's in Africa, buddy. And this story is awesome. Did you realize he has 7 attempted murder charges? It's not just one. And he was a cop when he got the attempted murder.
It is South Africa, just so you know. Pretoria.
Yeah, I know. I said it's in Africa.
South Africa.
Yeah, I'm just saying, obviously there's violence there, but he has 7 attempted murder charges because when he was a cop, him and his buddies, I guess, were drinking on the job or something. This is what they're accused of. And went after a cab full of individuals, 7, and just started unloading rounds in the cab. It is how this guy's allowed to be a lawyer with all this going on, or whatever.
Well, he's a detective.
He's a detective.
Yeah. It's the Wild West over there. Yeah.
Here's one thing really interesting about it. I saw on the news last night. I realized then I said, the story was he said he had his prosthesis off. That he heard this,
right,
and somehow crawled down, got his gun,
right,
and whatever happened, crawled in and shot through the door. The diagram shows that he would have to got up and walk all the way around, like, I don't know, 20
to get his
feet.
Gun.
Well, no, his gun was under the bed apparently. But anyway, to get around to the bathroom from the bed, he had to cross the bed, get across the bed where he would have noticed his wife was not there, or his girlfriend not there, and then walk all the way into the bathroom around 20 feet and make a right.
And he would have to put his legs
and
on.
And then shoot through the door, and the angles of the bullet show
he was standing.
It was standing up. Now that's going to be interesting. That's what you call a CSI right there.
That's what you call a bad lie. And we said it yesterday.
Only happened in golf, a bad lie.
When he said that he didn't have his legs on, we could tell it was sort of an attempt for people to feel bad.
Seemed like it. Seemed like it. And so, but you just can't. It's so compelling. You keep thinking, well, I'm gonna put this. That's just done. But this is not even the trial started yet. It's just a hearing.
We're so far away.
The leg bit, so to speak. I mean, the guy's a world-class athlete, so I'm sure he can move around without them. But still, it's
with the path. One of those. Excuse me.
The path of the bullet pointing downward.
Yeah.
That's kind of the giveaway.
And it's one of those stories that that you think once you've caught up with it, so okay, that's that for now, and I'll find out a couple of weeks, a month of the trial, whatever. But something else happens the next day. Think, okay, it's something else. It's a story that keeps on giving, doesn't it? All right, one more story before we go to break. Then we're going to directly connect on the issue of getting hacked, why I'm hacked. This is my favorite story of the day. All right, this gives me hope. Just when I think America is going to go to hell with being overridden with crime and violence and greed and drugs, I think, what is this world coming to? Carlos and Barbara Landros came upon a bag filled with wads of cash on Valentine's Day. You heard about this?
No.
They were sightseeing at the Golden Gate Bridge. They found a camera bag containing $11,000, $11,060.42.
I'm not telling anybody.
Expensive camera equipment and credit cards, etc. They waited for a while for the owner to come back and then headed down to the police station where they waited for hours until the tourist came from China, was tracked down, and they returned it to their rightful owner. So,
China,
yeah. And then there's one, all right? That's the California
We already
story.
owe them so much money. Why are you giving them?
Yeah, that's true. Just make a payment while you're back there. Now, there's another thing that two siblings from Oregon, Katie and Ryan Moy, found a bank deposit bag with $13,000 on a road in Eugene. They knew they could help them bail them out of their financial woes, but their consciences wouldn't let them do it. They brought the money to Reliable Credit, a firm that provides direct loans that were given gift cards in return for their good deed, et cetera, and it made people very happy about that. So here's the thing about it. It's easy to say what you would do till it happens to you.
Yeah.
You know, you can say, oh, I do that, sure. Bottom line is, here's people who did it. And there are some good, honest people in this world, which gives me a little bit of hope when I think some days our country is going to hell in a handbag. Thank you for that story. It makes me feel a little bit more confident.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we will take a break. We'll come back. Tom's back with the production room. Gary's here. He's going to explain to us, what do you do when you get your email account hacked? What can you do about it? What steps must be taken? I'm all ears because I got hacked this morning. Coming up next right here on the Voice of Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source. Hi, this is Buddy Martin. I want to tell you about a conversation I had recently with General Manager Pat Murray on the great family atmosphere at Country Club of Ocala.
It's a family-first club. Again, we have any number of different types of memberships, but obviously the one that attracts the greatest level of interest is our family. And the reason for that is we have a little something for everybody. I mean, we obviously have a world-class golf course. We have 7 tennis courts here for all levels of tennis players. We have a junior Olympic-sized swimming pool. We have a fitness center that's second to none, and we have state-of-the-art equipment in our fitness center.
Country Club of Ocala, where the facilities are all a family would ever need. For more information, call today at 352-237-6644. That's 352-237-6644. Country Club of Ocala, proud sponsor of Monday's Gator Report and Gator Talk Thursday right here on The Source.
Hello, I'm Dawn Lovell, lead event designer and owner at Party Time Rentals. Have you ever wondered what it takes to make an event spectacular? Well, look no further. It's what we do every day, whether you're hosting an intimate dinner for 10 or a gala for thousands. At Party Time Rentals, we find just the right style and elegance to make your event a success. Our extensive inventory of the finest in chandeliers, tents, crystal, china, and specialty items is featured in our fabulous showroom. Stop by and say hello. It's a great way to get ideas for an event and experience for yourself how you can make your party time special.
Party Time Rentals, located on Southwest 10th Street, just off Route 200 in Ocala, and off Southwest 34th Street in Gainesville. For more information, call 352-629-8858. That's 352-629-8858. The party begins at Party Time.
Well, the new year is upon us, and that means getting to those forgotten projects that you promised you would. So whether you're tackling a small honey-do list or building the Taj Mahal, Sunbelt Rentals will help you get the job done right with the right tools. From carpet cleaners to excavators, Sunbelt Rentals has what you need. So what are you waiting for? Get it done. Rent it now. From Sunbelt Rentals, located on Highway 27, just a half-mile east of I-75, or visit sunbeltrentals.com. Get it done. Rent it now. Sunbelt Rentals.
We know this is tax time. WOCA has teamed up with Liberty Tax Service of Marion County. Angie Finley will be in our studios live on Monday, February 25th at 9:30 a.m. to inform and tell you how she is giving back to the community with some free tax services. Tune in February 25th at 9:30 a.m. for Liberty Tax Service here on WOCA, The Source.
They've served our country. They've kept us free. And they need your help.
We're sitting in Veterans Park. You can't sit here not realizing that you're surrounded by heroes. There are a lot of heroes in our community. A lot of heroes, unfortunately, are not in good financial shape. They're hurting both physically and financially. We step in and help directly. Our role is to reach out to them. We're there to help the veteran. We do counseling. We do outreach. Sometimes it's just coming into the office and sitting down and saying, hey, I've got a problem, and you're talking to another veteran who understands that problem.
Everybody who works for the Vets Helping Vets are awesome, and they are so kind to everybody. They're like my second family. They really are.
They have been there during the holidays. I have gotten unexpected visits, assistance.
Vets Helping Vets of Marion County needs your help. Call today, 352-433-2320, and pledge your support to Vets Helping Vets of Marion County.
It really has been a blessing.
Hi, this is Tom Schmitz, the host of Buddy's Saturday Sports Page on WOCA. The Saturday Sports Page is your weekend destination for everything sports, from NASCAR to golf, baseball to boxing, and of course the best, most comprehensive football coverage on the radio. Also, you don't want to miss my weekly Are You Kidding Me rant? So join me and JJ LaSalva every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. for Buddy's Saturday Sports Page on WOCA, The Source. This is Tom Schmitz live in WOCA studios with this news break brought to you by Rinstar Medical Research. Marion County Sheriff's Deputy Francisco Perez was charged Wednesday with 6 counts of introducing contraband into the county jail after investigators say the bailiff sent love letters to a female inmate. The 5-year employee resigned from his job at the time he was arrested, according to officials. The correspondence came to light Valentine's Day when another woman, jail trustee Nancy Simmons, told a sergeant at the courthouse about the relationship, according to an arrest affidavit. This news break was brought to you by Rinstar Medical Research, seeking tomorrow's answers to the health questions of today. Call 352-629-5800 for more information.
All right, welcome back to the Voice of Ocala. Ocala's only real local afternoon radio program done right here in the city of Ocala. So my pleasure now to welcome back Gary Gregory. Gary worked for a software firm. I don't know if you want to mention the name of the firm or not. It doesn't really matter. It's up to you.
I work for a company called Rocket Software, which is based in Boston.
Mm-hmm. But operates around the world, and you travel around the world, and you send emails to China and everywhere else, right?
Yeah, every day I've got a video conference call with people from Russia, the U.S., the Netherlands. We also have people in China. It's
Do you email China, by the way?
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting because we call them by American name. They give themselves American names.
Do they?
Yeah. It's very much like the joke about calling an Indian call center when the guy's named Ted or Fred. But our guys over there do the same thing. It's just easier for everybody.
Yeah. Well, I saw a really kind of a remarkable clip on the news. I think it was last night. Someone from CNN got over and got to that spot in China, that building where all the hacking's coming from,
Oh, yeah?
And they got it photographed from the car, but as they were taking the video, the guards started running down the highway after them and actually caught up to them, and finally sped away.
Yeah, and those guards shouldn't be guards at this building. They should be on the Chinese track team because they ran a moving vehicle down.
They really did. And so, anyway, I thought about that. Was interesting. That is the hot spot where everybody's talking about
Yeah.
it. So I'm thinking, you don't think too much about it other than the fact you hear the stories all the time. And the Pentagon, the banks, the Washington Post, the New York Times. It seems like it's like 140 big businesses or so that last time I counted are big government agencies who have been hacked.
Big companies, too.
And it's a serious issue. Cyber warfare, as the president talked about, something we've been talking about for a long time. But when it hits you get hacked, you get your email hacked. You begin to think, this is not just some incidental little thing that happened. I can just sort of brush off and say, it's funny, I got hacked, change my password and move on. It's a lot more serious than that these days. So, first of all, a confession. When you get an email you don't recognize, don't open it. And worst of all, don't click on the link, which I'm guilty of doing, because it's had a name of a very important person, Ocala, on it. And I clicked on it, and as soon as I hit the link, I realized this is not a good move. I got out right away and deleted it. Too late, apparently. I'm not sure if this is what caused it, but it was stupid to do. And it's all it takes to get if your whole address book infected, right?
Right, that's
there.
right.
So before I ask you the question, if you receive what looks to be an important email, the best thing to do would probably trash it, then text or call your friend and say, did you send me something important? Should I open that, right? Is that a good way to do it?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of different ways to go about it. The first hint should be the sender and the subject of the message. Usually if you get a message from somebody and it says this is really important, I mean, the first hint that something's wrong is just that. That's not how I would start an email message. I would say something about your car or your mom or something that's germane to the topic. And so that's kind of the first clue. Another thing that's a dead giveaway, and then this has happened in your particular case, because I've seen that exact email message you received from somebody else. And that's if the email message is encoded in a way where you see pretty fonts and graphics and whatnot. And all there is in there is a short sentence, and it says click here, and you don't see the link. So that's what you normally see on a web page. You'll see some text, and you'll see some text that's in blue and underlined. And that means click me. Now, if you see that in an email message, you actually have to go out of your way to create that when you write an email message. So that does two things. It makes it more convenient and less ugly, but it also hides the link. So depending on the program that you're using to read your mail, you can move your mouse over the link, and it'll show you where that link is going. So if you're web savvy enough, you can tell that the destination is not a legit place, or it's a dangerous place. If it's a website in China or in Russia, if it has a CN extension or RU extension for different countries. But in general, I just delete those messages right away. And if somebody really has something that important to tell me, they'll tell it to me in the text, or they'll call me. This is important because I was at your friend's house last night and this and that happened. You don't have to click somewhere to tell me that. So that's really where you have to be careful.
Right. So once you've been hacked,
so there's a couple of things you can do. There's really two things you need to do right away. The first thing is you'll go in and change your password for that email account. Then the next thing you want to do is find some kind of anti-malware or virus detection program and run that on your computer. If you're running Windows, you can download from Microsoft Windows Defender. It's free. And it'll scan your computer. It'll update itself, make sure there's nothing malicious running on your computer. Now, even though you've changed the password for your email account, it's still possible that a malicious person could have gone in your email account and read all your emails and have now a whole bunch of information that they could use against you. What I recommend people do is when something like that happens, look at, and there are usually only a handful of accounts where you have something that is money connected, your bank account, your credit union, your credit card, and change those passwords. Now, most people will use the same password for all their accounts. So what you have to think is kind of put yourself in the mindset of the criminal. Is I've logged into your mail account and I figured out your password. What's the first thing I'm going to do? I'm going to try all the banks, all the email programs, all the email websites, all the credit unions, and I'm going to try that user ID and password. So that's why it's important that even though you might have changed your password on your email account, that you also go change your password on some other accounts, especially if you use the same username. And there's a lot of websites out there, a lot of services that will ask you to use an email account name for your user ID. And it's very convenient. And in the same shot, they get a username and they get an email account for you to send you, information. It's pretty convenient. But the drawback, obviously, is that now you've opened yourself up to the same problem on all these other accounts.
All right, so now I had this happen to me. I did what you said, changed my accounts, and I feel an obligation to tell people about it.
Right.
Now, here comes the hard part. This is due to my fault as well. I want to email everybody and tell them.
Right.
But if you don't update your email addresses, and I've got them in there for the last 10 years.
Right.
I've got 1,500 emails. So if I ever want to click the box and say send to everybody, it bounces 35 names.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes you a while to go back and find those because they're not in alphabetical order.
Right.
You can't run them down. You have 1,500 names you got to sort through and pick out the ones and then finally be able to send a notice. So I spent 2 hours doing that. I finally said, the heck with this. I went through the A's, the B's, the C's, and picked out the ones I thought were the most important. So I'm through J right now.
Uh-huh.
And when I get home tonight, I'll finish J through Z. But that's a pain in the butt, too.
Yeah. I mean, you did the best thing that you can do, which is you do an email blast to everybody that's in your address book. This way you're sure you don't miss anybody. And, yeah, it's a pain. You're going to get some bounce backs where you'll have emails that are no longer valid. But you know what? So what?
Gary, is there any software out there, and you said Windows Defender, And I have Avast and I have super anti-spyware on my computer that I run every day because I'm psychotic that way and want to get rid of spyware and everything. But Windows Defender is a good one, I know. But is there any software out there, any programs out there where I can actually check individual emails to see if they're infected with anything?
Your virus protection programs will have that built in, and there are actually options in most of them. Like the one I use Kaspersky, but there's tons of them out there, McAfee, Microsoft, and so on. You can have them look at your email box automatically, and depending on the sophistication of that program, it'll actually look at what's flying over your network. So usually when you do a full scan of your computer, which is not something you do every day because
I do it about once a week.
It takes forever.
Yeah, I do a full scan. I do a quick scan every day, full scan once a week.
Right. So you'll see then that it'll quarantine certain things in different places. And if the program is good enough, it'll go look in your mailboxes. Now, what it's not going to go do is log into your Gmail account or any web-based account and tell you if that's infected.
So Yahoo and Gmail are out. They won't check those.
No.
Gary Gregory, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say we're going to go to break, come back and finish
Sure.
up. Gary Gregory is our guest. He's talking about what to do when you've been hacked. He gave us a couple of tips. We'll come back, have a couple of minutes to ask you a couple more questions, Gary.
Sure.
We'll take a time out and return to the program called The Voice of Ocala on
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
If you missed last Friday's Community Gazette Day at Gateway Bank, you missed the first installment of the Ask the Cop show, airing every second and fourth Friday from Gateway Bank, with your host, Buddy Martin, Chief Greg Graham of Ocala's Police Department, and Sheriff Chris Blair of Marion County Sheriff's Office joined us to talk about what steps they took for a smooth transition once they took over the leadership role of their individual police departments.
Give me a 60-second update of what's happened in the sheriff's office. Well, my first 5 weeks in there, the big thing is just looking at the organization and studying it. And we're basically looking at a lot of feedback. We're bringing retirees back to the sheriff's office, evaluators, along with some community leaders and business people to go into the sheriff's office, engage with our people there, the employees, to try to get some feedback, and so that we can look at the entire organization from a different perspective, and we'll make changes and do our organizational structure from that feedback.
And Greg, hasn't been that long ago you were doing the same thing with your department.
Yeah, I've been back a year now. January 15th is a year, and I truly believe, as does the sheriff, that the people that best know how to run the organization are the people that actually do the work in the organization. That's those men and women that are out there every day answering those calls for service, dealing with the public. So, I did the same thing. I sought a lot of input and engaged the men and women that work there, and we made some pretty significant changes and some small changes, and they've been part of the process, and it's gone really well. I tell you, I can't. I'm so honored to be back in Ocala, but certainly even more honored to have the opportunity to work and play with the men and women that belong to the Ocala Police Department.
Join us for Ask the Cops on the second and fourth Friday of every month, live from Gateway Bank's Community Gazette Day on the Voice of Ocala on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
On the next AM Ocala Live, Robin and I will be speaking to Barry Knapp. This is the man who puts makeup on the celebrities and contestants on the TV show American Idol, and now he's helping movie stars at the Oscars. He's going to tell you how you can look as good as a movie star.
Open for debate, where you get to choose the topic.
Rabbi Yossi Hecht will be with us. He's the rabbi of the Chabad Lubavitch Jewish Center of Marion County. He's coming out to speak about the Jewish holiday of Purim.
Join pilots from the Ocala Aviation Flight School, Brad Rosema and Joss Verdonk, on Winging It.
And then John Sotomayor will be in the studio hosting his show, Ocala Magazine Radio. John's guests this week are all from the horse industry.
Cynthia Helm served as one of England's original boat crew wrens during World War II, and she is the widow of Richard M. Helms, the Director of Intelligence for the United States.
And then Harry C. Verizor is coming on. He serves on the advisory boards of the Mackinac Center for Public Policy and the Action Institute for the Study of Religion and Liberty. All of that plus Fun with Joe on the next AM Ocala Live right here on The Source, WOCA 96.3 FM.
1370 AM.
In Clark, we trust.
Hi, this is Clark Howard. Join me every weeknight at 6, right here on WOCA 1370, The Source.
You make promises in life when you get married, have kids, buy a home. You make promises to take care of the ones you love. Auto Owners Insurance promises great service, and we delivered again. J.D. Power and Associates ranked Auto Owners Insurance highest in customer satisfaction with auto insurance claims 3 years in a row. Auto Owners, promises made, promises kept. For award information, visit jdpower.com.
Visit George Mangan Insurance, 725 Northeast 25th Avenue, Ocala, where the customers do come first.
Hey, this is John Tesh with my wife, Connie Selica, and we're here to lend our support for the upcoming Veterans Eagle Challenge being hosted by The Source WOCA, with proceeds going to Vets Helping Vets. Please sign up today, and thank you for your support.
Ocala Radio, WOCA.
All right, welcome back to the program, Voice of Ocala. Gary Gregory from Rocket Software right here in Ocala. He actually lives here, but the company's in Boston. You worked that deal out. I can figure that out. I guess. But anyway, we're just catching up on what to do. It sounds so simple, and yet it's not that simple to people who are not that knowledgeable about the computer and about software and about getting hacked and whatever. And then you add in the inconveniences of things like I said, having to wade through all your email lists, be able to notify people.
Yeah.
It's just and then again, it points out your flaws. Like for me, I shouldn't have had 1,500 addresses, of which probably 85 or 90 are no longer valid.
You're very popular.
No, it's just a long time. I'm very lazy. So I should have taken all those off of there, because when you go to send an email to everybody, your account kicks back, this is not valid, that's not valid, this is not valid. And you got to go back and look for those things and take them out. So, again, important. I guess we learned the lesson. It's why people tell us, change your password every 3 months. Now, Tom hasn't changed his since 95.
Right. Well, if depending on, like, at my day job, our passwords are changed every 3 months, and that's a company policy, and that's part of being a secure workplace as far as securing our IP, our business.
Got about a minute. Am I reaching to say that this is all part of one big conspiracy, that somewhere lurking in the shadows are the Chinese, or is this in fact a connection that could be made?
A lot of this work is done through what's called botnets, and they are big networks of computers that a lot of times are run from nefarious places, where the law is not as strict as it is here. And some of those places are Eastern Europe. Sometimes it's in Russia, sometimes it's in the Far East. I don't think you could call it a conspiracy beyond the fact that there are just criminals out there, and they act in their own self-interest.
The Chinese happen to have a lot of them, very smart and apparently very young.
Well, I think maybe from China there's also this whole angle of what the government there is trying to do, and a lot of it might be industrial espionage.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
There's more value there.
I'm going with espionage. I think I'm part of the espionage thing.
So I'm not sure what business value there is in your emails there for the Chinese, but there's something they're looking for.
There's absolutely nothing of any kind whatsoever that they could use against me or for me, or information that would help them with a thing. So unless they want to be booked on a radio show or something. Gary, I appreciate you coming aboard. Following up with somebody named Gregory after you. Laurie Martin Gregory will be here at 4:15 to talk about Oscars, about health. And I've got my tweets and quotes, which I didn't get to because it's so darn interesting talking to Gary. I forgot to do that. One quick note, this news note. Apparently the free concert with Montgomery Gentry will not be played at City Hall. According to city officials of Ocala, March 10th concert postponed due to contractual issues with Universal Studios. So apparently Eddie Montgomery and Troy Gentry will be playing at the theme park or something the night before. We'll be here. All right, coming up next, talking about Oscars and health and lots more right here on Ocala's only real local afternoon radio program, The Voice of Ocala, on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Indiana town, had a good-looking mama who never was around, but she grew up tall and she grew up right with them Indiana boys on an Indiana night.
Hi, I'm Lisa Midget with Kinetic Motion Fitness, Ocala's premier small group and personal training fitness studio. Did you know you can achieve all your fitness goals, whether that's losing weight, getting fit, or training for a personal best, all with no membership fees? Have you ever been embarrassed or intimidated at a big gym because you're not a Greek god or a size 0 supermodel? Have you ever felt like your gym would rather you not even show up? At KMF, we have a team approach that focuses on small classes and personal training, and you'll feel like family, not just another number. No more boring treadmills or endless reps. Our classes are fun, energetic, and get you the results you want. And I should know, with the help of our great trainers, I lost over 100 pounds in 8 jean sizes, and I did it using no heavy equipment and no magic pills, just fun and effective workouts. And yes, I did say fun. Come join us at KMF. Visit our website at kmfocala.com or like us on Facebook. Again, that was kmfocala.com.
If you need a sign or a banner for your yard or your business or your campaign, I'd recommend you go to Signs Unlimited at 318 South Magnolia in Ocala. Screen printing, embroidery, digital graphics. Do what I did when we needed signs for the Save the Marion Theater Group. Go see Vic Buttermore at Signs Unlimited if you want quality work with a fast turnaround from somebody who is deeply committed to his community and always ready to assist you. There's a reason Vic's slogan is, "It's our business to make your business better." Sign up for Signs Unlimited. Call 732-7341 today.
Relations got you down. Are you at your wit's end? Does the opposite sex just confuse you? Then I've got the solution for you, Dr. Buddy.
Well, let me just tell you what you slugs are doing wrong. Remember, dummy, it's about the chase and the romantic interludes, okay? Now, here's the difference. Instead of dinner and a movie, which seems obsolete these days, they have this random phone text, Facebook post, instant message, and quote-unquote non-dates. Traditional courtship, which is still what women want, guys. Picking up a telephone, asking someone on a date, maybe even going as far to pick them up in your car, requires courage, strategic planning, and a considerable investment in ego.
So now you know where to tune in to get all your relationship advice. It's the Dr. Buddy Show every Monday on the Voice of Ocala. You can succeed only on 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source. Vets Helping Vets has done it once, and they had such a great time, so they said, let's do it again. It's the second annual Eagle Challenge Golf Tournament on March 16th. Just $60 per player, which includes green fees, cart, and lunch by Sonny's Barbecue. Let's get going and help the Vets Helping Vets help the over 55,000 veterans in the area. March 16th, a great fun day for golf. Call 433-2320 or here at 732-8000.
What you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
Portion sizes have steadily increased over the past 20 years. During the same time period, obesity rates have doubled for adults and tripled for children. Modern technology distracts us more and more from the real world around us. The danger of being present but absent is that people lose touch with their emotions and have weaker social bonds. Adult professionals were least likely to want to hire people who use the word like excessively and incorrectly.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Stay informed on everything going on in the villages with the Village Spectator newspaper. The Village Spectator is exclusively devoted to the villages with news, commentary, and more. And yes, they have Tom's Picks, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. Tom's Picks will refer the company that fits your needs, and all we ask is that you tell them where you heard about them. Call Tom's Picks at 804-1223 and pick up your copy of the Village Spectator today.
Now read Ocala Downtown newspaper online.
Why is everyone so obsessed with virtual reality and high definition? My neighbor came over yesterday to show me the photographs he took of the pansies and dianthus that I got from Kenny's Place Nursery. He had this electronic pad, and with the flip of his finger, he showed me these beautiful shots he took in my garden. And then he said, you can almost smell them. That's when I used my finger and motioned him to the garden, and then pointing with my cursor, also known as my finger, I pointed toward the real flowers from Kenny's Place Nursery, and I said, I can smell them. Instead of virtual reality, I enjoy real reality. But it is more than the beauty of the pansies and dianthus and more than their fragrance. It's the way they move in the breeze. It's the butterflies and bees that are attracted to them. You know, the plants I get from Kenny's Place Nursery from my garden in the real world provide me with an outdoor sanctuary to escape from that virtual world. Kenny's Place Nursery is located at 7677 Southeast 41st Court in Ocala. Give them a call at 867-1213. Kenny's Place Nursery, where the plants, the people, and the mission are all beautiful.
You're listening to WOCA News Talk 1370, Ocala's source for what's happening in today's hottest, up-to-date news and topics.
Healthy, get up and get moving. A study in the International Journal of Behavioral Nutrition and Physical Activity found the more people sit, the more they are at risk for chronic diseases, no matter what their body mass index. 4 years after a salmonella outbreak involving peanut butter, 4 former executives at the Peanut Corporation of America face federal charges. 9 people died after eating it. Hundreds got sick. A driver in Washington state who stopped to investigate a damaged tree found a lot more than he'd expected. A car crash which killed a woman. Her 2 little girls survived, though. The older one, a 4-year-old, pulled her 2-year-old sister from the car and covered her with a blanket until help arrived. Some kids will do anything to avoid going to bed. A boy from Brockton, Massachusetts called the police. The 10-year-old dialed 911 last night because he wasn't ready to fall asleep. An officer was dispatched to the boy's home and explained to him why it was not appropriate to do that. This is ABC News. Nervous.
At Advance Auto Parts, we don't just sell parts. Oh, no. We get you the part you need. Lickety-split. Our knowledgeable team members will do the legwork, arm work, or torso work, whatever it takes, to make sure you don't just get a part, you get the right part. Fast. Plus, right now, get up to $50 back by mail when you buy Moog steering and suspension products. Only at Advance Auto Parts. See store for details. Mail-in rebate. Void where prohibited.
All right, Flo, so the key to safe pest removal is staying calm.
Okay.
Says here, this lady's got a badger in her attic.
Oh, I love badgers. Oh, sorry. Calm. There he is! Come here, little buddy. I thought he wanted a hug.
Badgers don't really hug.
Not yet. Oh, badger.
Insuring your business vehicles with Progressive is like having Flo on the road with you. Low down payments, great discounts, and flexible billing options. Now that's Progressive. Visit Progressive.com today. United Financial Casualty Company and Affiliates.
I'm just sick of all the amateur stuff, you know? I mean, like, if I'm paying top dollar, I want a little production value, you know? Like some editing, transition, something, some music.
Don't worry. We didn't leave you.
He's gone. He's not gone. That's the whole point. He's never gone.
Our bosses say we gotta stay.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
Bow to your sensei. Bow to your sensei. It's time for the second hour of The Voice of Ocala. Hoo-ah!
You ever come across anything like time travel?
Come on, stick around. It's free.
If you win, you win. If you lose, you still win.
All right, welcome back to the program. Ocala's only real afternoon talk show host, the Voice of Ocala. Coming up in a few minutes, we're talking about the Oscars, which are Sunday night. Lots of special on that last night, part of it. Great, rich history and all the funny lines, Billy Crystal and Bob Hope and etc. Laurie Martin Gregory joins us to talk about that, along with a couple of medical issues, one of them about screenings, whether people or the doctors do too much screening. It's an article out of the Wall Street Journal about that. In the sports hour, it's going to be interesting. We're going to have a jam-packed hour at 5 o'clock on Buddy's Sports Page. NASCAR Todd Swearingen, live from Daytona, is going to try to call us after the result of the 150, the second 150. The first one won by
Kevin Harvick.
And so he sits at what side, odd or even?
I believe he's at the first race is the odd, the second race is the even.
So
but I could have that wrong.
Okay, well, he would be the number
3 starter.
3 car. Yeah.
He's either going to be number 3 starter or number 4. He's going to be on row 2, regardless.
Okay, well, we'll see what Todd has to say about how the races went. He told me earlier, he tweeted me earlier, that the cars were 10 miles an hour faster than last year. Also, big horse racing weekend, at least for JJ, his horse, the one that he picked out, Violence, will be racing at Gulfstream, and our man Michael Compton will join us in the program to update us on Derby prep, getting ready for the Kentucky Derby, the first Saturday in May. So Michael will join us, probably rejoicing in the fact that his Lakers won last night, as is Gary Gregory. And then Franz Beer closes out, taking us through the weekend coming up for the Gators basketball team, trying to right their ship, see what he's got to say about the condition of the players, the team, and what Billy Donovan has to say. All coming up in the next hour. Meanwhile, Tom, you got busted just now for eating cookies, buddy.
Yeah, well, as long as I don't pass 2,020 calories a day, you know. I can cheat and eat some things.
So you just go out and eat all the pastry you want.
No, I can't eat all the pastry I want. No, without a doubt.
Yeah, because you're on this real strict regimen, and your trainers. And I say trainers because you don't. Most people have one. You have three. Haven't figured that out yet. Out of KMS Fitness, and you've been on this real strict regimen and diet, and you've dropped how many pounds?
23 today.
23 pounds. That's excellent. Very good.
I'm wearing it today.
You're wearing one of those bustle T-shirts today.
You know what size shirt this is?
Small.
Extra large.
I'd
you
say
know why that's significant?
Yeah, because you used to wear triple X.
Double X and triple X.
Yeah. Well, good for you. That's great. So now what's the deal? How's this work, and what's the next thing you're going to
The
be
group
doing?
at KMF, and we'll have Lisa Midget on tomorrow, and this is something you can do at home because she has DVDs, and we're going to talk about these tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
All the training I do, she has different trainers that have DVDs that you can buy DVDs and do it, right there in your own home.
You can do them in your house.
Oh, yeah. Pop it in the DVD player.
Like Tai Chi, you could do things
you can
like
do Tai Chi. You got Carrie Mack's got her, and that. I love my trainers, Katie and Shannon and Meg.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want no part of Carrie Mack. I'm just telling you.
Mm-hmm.
Telling you right now, I want no part of it.
Mm-hmm.
She would literally have me probably 195 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
I want no part of that. She's an intense.
Do you get
workout
vocal
trainer.
and things like that out there?
It's not for radio. I tell you that.
I heard someone told me they put you off away from the average for the crowd.
They schedule me
put you
when
in
the
a corner.
gym. They schedule me when the gym is empty.
I heard that.
It's not a.
I heard that.
There are a few words that I have to go on Saturdays and say, "Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned."
You need to have a couple of those confessions. Yeah.
So, but KMF Kinetic Motion Fitness. My three trainers, I do Pilates 2 days a week, and I do intense cardiovascular training 3 days a week, muscle confusion training, and it's the biggest difference I've seen, buddy, is it's not that it's not difficult. Like today, Shannon worked me where I had to catch my breath and was short of breath and out of breath the entire workout. The difference is it used to take me 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes to catch my breath. Now it takes me 45 seconds to a minute. So I'm able to get so the cardiovascular is great. I'm dropping pounds. I feel like I'm stronger, like my strength is coming back. And I'm wearing clothes that I hadn't worn in over 2 years.
And you're feeling better looking, aren't you?
I'm much more energized, but I tell you what it does do, and you'll know this, because I get up now my schedule has changed. Before, I had the lazy man schedule, working out at noon every day. Now I do Pilates at noon on Mondays and Fridays because that's when it fits my trainer's Meg schedule. But I work out every other day of the week. I'm in the gym at 8:15, or at Jervy Gant at 8:15. And Jervy Gant, by the way, and you know this because you knew Coach Gant, I guess. Coach Jervy.
No, Jervy. We call him Jervy.
Jervy. But the park that is named for Jervy, an amazing place to get a workout in.
Yeah.
And so you go get.
He was an amazing guy. The most important thing is how whether JJ buys into this. JJ, you think he's legit on this or not?
Yeah, he looks good.
You think so?
Yeah.
You're buying in on this?
JJ, you know what this week was, don't you? This week on Monday was the start of week 6. How many weeks did you say I'd go? At least 6?
No, I said you were going to go 60 days, 60 some odd days.
I'm a little scared of Tom James, though. Tom James just sent me a text saying, "You're looking like a sexy beast." That scares me a little bit, to Tom James.
I believe Tom might be sipping on the sherry this afternoon, I don't know, something, whatever.
He maybe have the cooking sherry out.
Could be,
yeah.
He definitely doesn't look sexy.
No,
at all.
I don't think so. But then that's
The
just us,
beast-
JJ.
the
We're
beast
guys.
part- the beast part, I get.
that
You know what I
covered,
mean?
Yeah.
I understand the beast part.
Yeah. All right, let's go with this. I got a little tweets and quotes, JJ. I'm throwing you a curve here, going early because we got coming up Laurie, Martin, Gregory. Today's are inspirational tweets or quotes, just kind of simple ones I think you might enjoy. I have, and one of them by a guy I used to know. I considered him my friend, the late Dr. Norman Vincent Peale. I like this. It's simple. It's always too early to quit. Think about it. Number 2, this is my favorite tweet of the week. I would like to be able to model my life after this tweet. Success is not counted by how high you have climbed, but by how many people you brought with you. That's from Will Rose, whoever Will Rose is. I love that. And finally, you'll never in a million years guess who said this. Some of God's greatest gifts are unanswered prayers.
That would be Garth Brooks.
You're correct. All right, wraps up segment 1 of the program. Stay tuned. Coming up next, Laurie Martin Gregory will join us, and she will give us her thoughts about the Oscar weekend. She's got some good health information for you right here on the show, so stay tuned to
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
It's time to crown the King of the Wing and the Prince of Pizza at the 7th Annual King of the Wing competition on Thursday, February 28th at ARC Marion, 2800 Southeast Mary Camp Road in Ocala. This event features all-you-can-eat wings and pizza from all over town. Advance tickets are $20 for adults or $15 for kids. Proceeds benefit developmentally disabled adults at ARC Marion. Visit www.kingofthewing.com or call 352-351-2479 for more info.
Hi, this is Tom Schmitz, the host of Buddy's Saturday Sports Page on WOCA. The Saturday Sports Page is your weekend destination for everything sports, from NASCAR to golf, baseball to boxing, and of course the best, most comprehensive football coverage on the radio. Also, you don't want to miss my weekly Are You Kidding Me rant? So join me and JJ LaSalva every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. for Buddy's Saturday Sports Page on WOCA, The Source.
Recently, I had a great conversation with General Manager Pat Murray on the special events at Country Club of Ocala.
We have a lot of events, special events here that are geared towards the family. Easter comes to mind. We have an Easter bunny who hops around on the driving range. We usually hide somewhere in the neighborhood of 3,000 eggs and turn them loose and let them go harvest the eggs. We have a great family celebration here on the 4th of July where it's a traditional cookout, if you will. And as the sun goes down, the driving range becomes alive with probably one of the better fireworks displays in the area. Breakfast with Santa is a big deal.
Country Club of Ocala, where the Easter Bunny, Santa, and all the children, large and small, are a big deal on every special occasion. For more information, call 352-237-6644. That's 352-237-6644. Country Club of Ocala, proud sponsor of the Monday Gator Report right here on The Source. If you need a sign or a banner for your yard or your business or your campaign, I'd recommend you go to Signs Unlimited at 318 South Magnolia in Ocala. Screen printing, embroidery, digital graphics. Do what I did when we needed signs for the Save the Marion Theater Group. Go see Vic Buttermore at Signs Unlimited if you want quality work with a fast turnaround from somebody who is deeply committed to his community and always ready to assist you. There's a reason Vic's slogan is, "It's our business to make your business better." Sign up for Signs Unlimited. Call 732-7341 today.
Look who just walked in the room. Joel Wiesner from What's Up Ocala. Hey, Joel, I'm looking for something to do this weekend. You got any ideas?
Absolutely. Check out our event calendar online at www.whatsupocala.com, and there is plenty of events there for you. Daily news updates to event reviews and magazine articles.
Really?
We've organized it all in one place online for you to cut through all of the hassle of finding something to do this weekend. We have a daily event calendar, a bi-monthly magazine, and we also do daily news articles.
All right, Joel, that's perfect. Thanks so much.
Yeah, whatsupocala.com.
Hi, Brittany here from Mike Scott Plumbing. We're well into the new year, the world didn't end, and now you have all those New Year resolutions you haven't even started on. So here's an idea. Take the money you are going to waste on those late night infomercials for some weight loss gadget that doesn't even work, and do something that will work. Like a new bathtub, or that new kitchen sink you've had your eye on. Not only will it look good, but it would add value to your home. Did you know that Mike Scott Plumbing has a brand new showroom just across from the new Brownwood Square, in addition to the main showroom in Hernando? So wherever you are, it's just a short drive away. Let our showroom specialists get you one step closer to the kitchen and bath of your dreams. Call us today, 237-2888. That's 237-2888. And check us out on the web, MikeScottPlumbing.com. And remember, if water runs through it, we do it. Mike Scott Plumbing.
News Talk 1370. WOCA invites you to discover your full business potential. News Talk Radio is the perfect environment for your advertising. WOCA's News Talk format pinpoints information-hungry, better educated, high-income adults. So use us to talk to them. Call 732-8000. 732-8000. We're Ocala News Talk Radio. News Talk 1370 WOCA.
This is Tom Schmitz live in the WOCA studios with this news break brought to you by the Angie Lewis State Farm Agency. Ocala police detectives are looking for a man they say used a stolen credit card at a bank ATM late last month. Authorities said on January 23rd, sometime after 4 p.m., someone broke into the window of a vehicle parked at West Marion Community Hospital and removed a purse that contained ID, a credit card, and other important items and documents. Anyone who knows the identity of the man can call Detective James Dees at 368-5410 or Crime Stoppers at 368-STOP or visit www.ocalacrimstoppers.com. This news break was brought to you by the Angie Lewis State Farm Agency. Join Angie as she joins Buddy weekly for her Biz Buzz or Good Neighbor Award.
All right, quick sports update. Trade deadline tomorrow. The Orlando Magic traded J.J. Redick, the Duke shooting guard, to the Milwaukee Bucks. And the trade will involve 6 players. Tell you about the details of that coming up in the sports hour when we'll also talk to Todd Swearingen from Daytona Beach and Michael Compton about the ponies as well as Franz Beard talking about Gator basketball. Welcome back to the show. Laurie Martin Gregory joins us now. It's an all Gregory day here on the show today, Laurie.
I guess so. Sort of.
Gary did a very good job of explaining the situation and what to do about getting hacked. And you said, as a typical wife, you want to come back and tell the husband what he forgot to say. So go ahead and tell him what he forgot to say.
I didn't have to say it on the air.
It's okay.
I was
It's
just
a good
telling
point.
you.
It's a good point.
Well, you can actually, if you have a Gmail email account, which most people do, you can actually go in to Gmail on the right-hand drop-down menu where the little arrow is. And one of the options you can choose, it'll say forward, it'll say all these different options. One of the options is report phishing, that's PHISHING, or report as spam. So you can also do that and forward the information to Google if the incoming offense is actually in Google. In your case, it was because it was a fake Google Docs. So I actually took that email and reported it as phishing to Google today because I figured it would be good if they knew about it.
Good.
So anyway, one little tidbit.
Well, I thought about you last night. I watched part of the ABC special with Katie Couric on the Oscars, some of the highlights of the Oscars over the years, and it kind of reminded me of the rich tradition. We know it has it, but when you see, you see Johnny Carson up there, and you see Billy Crystal up there, and you see Bob Hope up there, and you see, I think Bob Hope hosted 19 of those things, I believe, and Johnny Carson did a bunch, and Billy Crystal has the second most at 9. I had no idea he had 9. And a few classic moments, including what Crystal thought was his finest moment of all the 9 Oscars when he was supposed to be introducing a man named Mr. Roach, I forget his first name, who was a great producer back in the silent movie era. And Roach is supposed to stand up and just be recognized. Instead,
he starts talking.
He gets up and starts talking. And
in the audience
and nobody can
with
hear
no
him.
mic.
And nobody can hear him.
Right.
And he went on and on and on talking, and finally when he was done, Billy Crystal said, well, that was appropriate since most of Mr. Roach's films were made in the silent movie era.
That's right.
So,
But
pretty
I'm
fun. So anyway, big party for your house, just the family only, and we're grinding down to this. And,
Still voting, by the way, till 5 o'clock today. Members
you
of
get
the
to
Academy.
vote at all as a SAG card?
No, had I won an Academy Award, I would be voting.
Oh, okay.
So no.
You were close, though.
I was close, and I was in Ben Affleck's worst movie ever and had a non-speaking scene with him. So that's about as close as I got. But the members of the Academy, of whom more than 86% are white males over 50, have until 5 o'clock today to vote.
Wait a minute. You have to make that remark.
Well, the point being that,
I know, but I mean,
that might favor Argo, and there have actually been, predictions and pundits far more credentialed than myself who have noted that statistic.
Now, who would say
specifically.
something like that? Oh, wait a minute, I did. After we saw the movie.
Well,
remember?
I do.
I said something about the fact that it might win because they have a mostly white males over 50.
It certainly could push them further over the edge than they already seem to be. I mean, Hollywood Foreign Press gave it to Argo as, Best Picture, and they have nothing to do with specifically participating in the industry other than commenting on it. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, there's always a chance. If you look at the list of best pictures for the year, it is tremendous, and there is an incredible offering. Beasts of the Southern Wild, phenomenal film. If you haven't seen it, you must see it. Last I saw it was pay-per-view available on Cox Cable. You won't believe that it's a movie because you can't believe that these people are acting. It seems like a documentary, but it's an incredible film. Django Unchained, Life of Pi, what a beautiful film. Ang Lee may end up getting Best Director for that film. Lincoln, tremendous movie. Zero Dark 30 is Django Unchained. It just goes on and on. So there is a chance that the Academy could spring a surprise and the votes could get sprinkled throughout these different nominees, and maybe somebody else will slip in besides Argo, but it's not likely.
Well, I want to put you and Buddy both on the spot here because you both have seen a lot of these movies. I know you've seen Lincoln. I know you've seen Zero Dark 30.
I've seen them all, but
I know
more.
you've seen all of them.
Except Amore, which
Buddy
you can't
seen
see.
Silver Linings Playbook.
No, I didn't see that.
No, he
you didn't
hasn't
see. Oh, I
seen
thought you did.
Lori saw it.
Yeah.
You saw Les Miserables, right?
I did not.
No, I did. Mm-hmm.
But do you really think? And everybody's talking. I've heard the same thing you have. I have a friend of mine in Atlanta who's a SAG card holder and very into doing movies in Atlanta. And it says it's almost the talk is almost a foregone conclusion now that Argo's the front runner.
Well, it's won so many awards.
But do you really think
I do?
It is a better movie than Lincoln?
No.
Or Les Miserables or Zero Dark 30?
No, and I've said that on this show before.
I do.
I don't.
I do, and I'll tell you why.
I think it's a good film. It's a good movie. It's very interesting. It's well done. Both directed as well as acted. But I think that there's a little bit of a narcissistic bend here where Hollywood enjoys...
They're the hero in the movie.
They enjoy being... Hollywood and politics have always been bedfellows.
And because Hollywood's
and
the
now
hero
you've
in
got
this film.
Hollywood being the hero to politics. It's a movie that was both produced by and directed by one of its own. So Ben Affleck and George Clooney are two of the three producers on the film. So they're sort of lifting one of their own up. And it's sort of fascination of observing oneself.
Because remember now, 3 months ago, 2.5 months ago, when Lincoln came out, a week after Lincoln was out, everybody said, go ahead and give Lincoln the Academy Award. It's a done deal.
And you can to Daniel Day-Lewis for Best Actor. That's a done deal.
Everybody thought it would win movie.
And I still think there's a chance. I do. I think Lincoln is a better film.
Got politics. It's got Lincoln. It's got Spielberg attached to it.
But it's a very slow-moving film.
It is a slow movie.
Let's define the word
film.
better.
Mm-hmm.
You said better films. I mean, what does it better mean? Did it gross the most money? Is it the most exciting? Did it have the most impact?
No, I'm talking about story and everything.
Revealing? Did it have?
I just think it's more interesting.
Well, let me just say from the standpoint of, I understand the importance of Lincoln,
right?
And I liked it a lot, but in entertainment wise, it was not nearly the movie Argo was entertainment for me.
Why is that?
Because
of the pacing.
There's not one gap in that movie.
But are you willing to at least consider the possibility that it was fascinating for you because it was an era that you lived through?
No doubt about it for me.
So it resonated with you because it was something that you lived through and you could almost sort of reminisce as you were watching it.
When you say better, you have to define what you're talking about.
For me, really, I think the best experience in terms of a movie-going experience when I look at all of these films is The Life of Pi.
Django.
The Life of Pi is a phenomenal film because it shows us scenarios that we would never see. Where are you going to see a boy and a tiger in a boat stranded at sea?
In a fantasy
In a
kind of
movie. That's the only place you're going to see something like that.
But
And
it's
it is
something that a critic would like. I mean, there's a big
it's an
difference in
incredible
what
film.
we like. I'm an average Joe.
Right,
I'm an
me
average
too.
guy who goes to the movies. I want to be entertained,
Django.
informed, whatever. I've not seen Django. It was a little harsh for me at the time. I didn't want to see it. I have to be in the right mood to want to see a movie like that.
Yeah, I thought that, and I was blown away. And I think I told JJ to go see Django
I was
because
sitting
it's
next
a great
to Lloyd
film.
Martin Gregory, and when we walked out of the movie theater, both of us looked at each other and said, "Wow!"
It's a
the
phenomenal
best
film.
It's the best film I've seen.
It's certainly one of the most original.
I wouldn't. I'm not saying it was probably a wonderful movie.
But this is-
no, it's not. It's not wonderful. It's not a wonderful movie at all.
It breaks through a ceiling.
It's an entertaining movie,
It's
but
its own genre.
The storyline's not wonderful at all.
You're talking sociology here, though, too.
Right.
You're
Of course.
talking. I mean, you're talking about a message, and it's fine, has its place.
Yeah, but it's more than that.
The reason I say Argo is that's a part of history we knew almost nothing about.
Did you know?
No, I didn't
the
know
fight that took place in the House of Representatives and the Senate over
No,
the
but-
13th Amendment.
But
getting
wait,
passed?
Tom, hold
Lincoln.
it. I wasn't around quite then. Okay, this happened in my lifetime.
So then it is a nostalgia
That's why
thing for
it's
you.
interesting.
But
for
it's
you.
still interesting because it's something I was involved in terms of a news person. I was living in New York at the time when the hostages came home, and I did not ever hear that story about these other hostages, how they came quote unquote Canadians, which they were Americans, and the Canadians were given credit for it, but Americans actually saved them, and that's an important part of that is history altering.
And that
Yes,
is
but-
how the majority of the Academy feels,
But
and
my
that's why it's going to win
my
Best
question
Picture.
to you there would be, you said it's history. What did you just refer to it as? History. What was the word you used? History ultimately.
It's a revelation in history. Is what it is.
But is that what makes a Best Picture?
Well, again,
I mean-
pick your poison.
You could you could argue that same thing with Django. You could argue that with Lincoln.
But
You
a
could argue that
revelation
with
in history,
Argo.
It's a revelation of 6 Americans whose lives were saved by a fake Hollywood movie script and all,
and it was
instead
good.
of somewhere around 8.5 million Americans that were saved by the 13th Amendment.
It's a
I mean, the 13th Amendment is not a sexy item for most people to go to the movies to see about. It
but
just isn't.
it's
I'm
a
sorry.
revelation that Hollywood
important
got
as it
to
is
be
to
the
history.
hero.
Right.
That's the
revelation.
when
That Hollywood got to pat itself on
I
the back
wrote a
and look what we
screenplay in 1999 that was about Hollywood, and I had several successful people in the industry read it, and they said to me, "There's just an unwritten rule, Lori. You don't do movies about the business." That was 12 years ago. Look
And
how
now
far.
here's-
And now here's Argo about to win Best Picture. And, with the exception of The Player, which was one of my favorite movies starring Tim Robbins,
yeah.
with the exception that you don't do movies about the
That was a great
industry.
movie.
Okay? So 1999, now it's 2013. Argo is going to win Best Picture, and it's about the industry.
All right, so what are we talking about here? And I've got a list here I want to go over with you, too. The most valuable actors of all time. The Wall Street Journal story. The 10 most valuable actors of all time. Okay? Now, obviously, this means the amount of money they gross and what have you. You'd be surprised who's on the list and who's
is
not.
if this purely money, I know there's some surprises on there.
There'll be some surprises for you. So, and so we're talking now Sunday night, 8 o'clock, ABC, Oscars, nomination list is out. We're waiting to see what's going to win Best Picture. There's some other categories that we're really excited about. Daniel Day-Lewis apparently has a grasp on the Best Actor award already. But based on what we saw with the Golden Globes and the other
Writers
award shows,
Guild, Producers Guild.
it's a mixed bag.
Has all voted
It's a
Argo.
mixed bag, so
Argo,
we'll see.
Directors Guild, they've all voted Argo Best Picture. SAG Awards, Best Ensemble. I mean, it's so almost impossible at this point for Argo to lose. Again, there's voting till 5 o'clock today. You never know how people's sentiments can change, but it is unlikely that will happen.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk about the 10 most valuable actors of all time and see how many of them you can get off this list. Then Laurie's going to tell us about excessive screenings in
Medical.
healthcare.
But I'm also
and
going to tell you what my favorite acceptance speech is that I'm looking forward to.
Okay, that works. We'll talk about that next right here in the Voice of Ocala.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
Hello, I'm Dawn Lovell, lead event designer and owner at Party Time Rentals. Have you ever wondered what it takes to make an event spectacular? Well, look no further. It's what we do every day, whether you're hosting an intimate dinner for 10 or a gala for thousands. At Party Time Rentals, we find just the right style and elegance to make your event a success. Our extensive inventory of the finest in chandeliers, tents, crystal, china, and specialty items is featured in our fabulous showroom. Stop by and say hello. It's a great way to get ideas for an event and experience for yourself how you can make your party time special.
Party Time Rentals, located on Southwest 10th Street, just off Route 200 in Ocala, and off Southwest 34th Street in Gainesville. For more information, call 352-629-8858. That's 352-629-8858. The party begins at Party Time.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And so is State Farm agent Angie Lewis, working hard to serve her community as a citizen and insurance agent. Angie wants to help you as you adjust your insurance needs to your life, from everything to helping educate your teen driver to protecting your family against everyday risk. She wants to change the way you perceive insurance by developing relationships with her clients, which is why Angie and her staff are proud to be a part of so many good causes in Ocala. In turn, she has chosen to single out those who step up as leaders. Each month on the Voice of Ocala, Angie spotlights a good neighbor, saluting those who give exceptional service or do random acts of kindness to others. For this, Angie was written up in State Farm's national magazine. Angie also supports local businesses with a regular Biz Buzz. The Angie Lewis State Farm Agency is located at 1122 Northeast 36th Avenue, where visitors are always welcome and the coffee pot is always on. Call your good neighbor's State Farm agent today, Angie Lewis, at 294-2444.
On the next AM Ocala Live, Robin and I will be speaking to Barry Knapp. This is the man who puts makeup on the celebrities and contestants on the TV show American Idol, and now he's helping movie stars at the Oscars. He's going to tell you how you can look as good as a movie star.
Open for debate, where you get to choose the topic.
Rabbi Yossi Hecht will be with us. He's the rabbi of the Chabad Lubavitch Jewish Center of Marion County. He's coming on to speak about the Jewish holiday of Purim.
Join pilots from the Ocala Aviation Flight School, Brad Brosma and Joss Verdonk on Winging It.
And then John Sotomayor will be in the studio hosting his show, Ocala Magazine Radio. John's guests this week are all from the horse industry.
Cynthia Helm served as one of England's original boat crew reds during World War II, and she is the widow of Richard M. Helms, the Director of Intelligence for the United States.
And then Harry C. Verizor is coming on. He serves on the advisory boards of the Mackinac Center for Public Policy and the Action Institute for the Study of Religion and Liberty. All of that plus Fun with Joe on the next AM Ocala Live right here on The Source, WOCA 96.3 FM.
1370 AM.
The Daytona 500. On February 24th, it will prove once again why this is the race of a lifetime. Every time. Like in 1998, when a 20-year quest ends with one of racing history's most timeless moments.
Dale Earnhardt is going to win the Daytona 500 in his 20th try.
And a son carries on that family legacy in 2004.
Dale Earnhardt Jr., you are the Daytona 500 champion. Congratulations.
Or 2011, when a 20-year-old underdog shocks the world.
Trevor Bayne playing defense. He's out in front at age 20. He's going to win the 53rd Daytona 500.
Join us Sunday, February 24th at Daytona International Speedway for the next chapter of the Great American Race with the 55th running of the Daytona 500. Great seats can still be yours. Select tickets for kids 12 and under are half price, and there's plenty of free parking. Get your tickets now at 1-800-PIT-SHOP or go to Daytona500.com.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean, I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, and a new spoiler, and a new trunk.
We can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too, huh?
Well, as a matter of fact, join me every Monday at 10 for auto repair with personal care here on The Source.
Of course you do.
Hi, welcome back to Ocala's only real local afternoon talk show, The Voice of Ocala. Buddy Martin, along with Laurie Martin, Gregory, Tom Smith, J.J. LaSalva. We're talking movies. We got the big Oscars coming up on Sunday night. Laurie, of course, has a big interest in that. And before we went to the break, I said there's a list here from the Wall Street Journal, the 10 most valuable actors of all time. Now, I had to qualify this a little bit for them to be able to let me read the story. But basically, it has to do with a lot with cash. At the same time, it has to do with the success of their careers, not just one big hit. And the deal is that these people were all obviously extremely successful, I guess both at the box office and with critics. And they've even got the figures that were grossed by these. And you'll be quite surprised who's on the list. And by the way, they're ranked 1 through 10. So having said that, that gives you enough information to be able to start with. Take a shot. Who do you think's on this list? Give me one at a time.
Betty Davis.
Not on the list.
Tom Hanks.
On the list.
Where's he at ranked on the list?
He's number 1.
Told you.
Tom Cruise.
You told me, but let's see what else you can tell me. Tom Cruise is on the list at number 5.
Mm-hmm.
Will Smith.
Not on the list.
That's a shocker.
Wow.
Robert De Niro.
Not on the list.
Harrison Ford.
Number 2, Harrison Ford.
Al Pacino.
Not on the list.
Sandra Bullock.
Not on the list.
Julia Roberts.
Not on the list.
Wow.
Clint Eastwood.
Number 9, Clint Eastwood.
Katharine Hepburn.
Not on the list.
Dwayne Johnson.
Not on the list.
Shocker.
Bruce Willis.
Not on the list.
Wow. Demi Moore.
No.
Not on the list.
John Wayne.
Not on the list.
Wow.
Oh, I know. Jimmy Stewart.
Not on the list.
Oh, shocker.
How about Morgan Freeman.
On the list.
Very good guess.
Number 8.
Very good.
How about Meryl Streep?
Yeah.
Not on the list.
Wow.
Can't believe
Think
Julia Roberts.
Ocala.
John Travolta.
Thank you. Number 10.
Very nice.
Yeah, but
All right. Number 10.
I actually, I'll tell you off the air, but I watched.
So we're missing 3, 4,
You got
6,
1,
and
2,
7.
3, 4. 6 and 7, 3 and 4.
3, 4, 6, and 7. Wow, that's tough.
And some of those names, I'm surprised they're not on the list.
I was very
too.
surprised some of them weren't on the list. Brad Pitt.
Not on the list.
George Clooney.
Not on the list.
Wow. Leonardo DiCaprio.
Not on the list.
Oh. Sly Stallone.
Sly Stallone. Not on the list.
Wow. Schwarzenegger.
No.
Arnold.
Yeah.
Not on the list.
Wow.
Thank goodness.
Well, they had huge box office, horrible movies, but huge
But
box office.
it's also, remember, you can't have one franchise. You have to have more than that, according to the rules here.
Humphrey Bogart.
Not on the list. You guessed that already, I think.
Did you?
Well, you got the 1 and 2.
Oh, what about Samuel L. Jackson?
Not on the list. One guy's a
Robert Duvall.
Not on the list. One guy's a comedian.
Robin Williams.
And 2 guys are comedians, actually.
Robin Williams.
Robin Williams, number 4.
Very good.
Eddie Murphy.
Number 3.
Yeah, I forgot all
We
about
don't
Eddie
have
Murphy.
2 left.
Mike Myers.
Not on the list. One has been in the news lately. He's just produced a movie. He's made some very famous movies early back in the 60s, 70s, and now he's producing. And he's a level figure, and you see him on TV a lot. And you just saw him on with David Letterman in the last couple of weeks. And he played in some movies called The Graduate and what have you.
Dustin Hoffman.
Yes,
Yeah,
thank
he
you.
would have to be on the list.
Of course.
Number 6. You have 1 left.
No women.
Johnny Depp.
You know, I was surprised he wasn't. No, he's not on there.
Johnny Depp's not on the list. That's a good call,
Too
JJ.
young.
I was very surprised.
007 was on the list.
Sean Connery.
And he is number 7, John Connery.
Yeah, because of he's been in a lot of movies besides.
There you go. That's the list.
You know who's
Number
not
1
on the list?
Tom Hanks, Harrison Ford, Eddie Murphy, Robin Williams, Tom Cruise, Dustin Hoffman, Sean Connery, Morgan Freeman, Clint Eastwood, and number 10, John Travolta.
This had to be just men.
It
because
was
I
just
can't
men.
imagine Eddie Murphy being on over Julia
Didn't say
Roberts.
that. Never said that. Now, I wrote on my notes after reading this. No Julia Roberts, no Katharine Hepburn.
Well, but it had to be. It
So
said
it had to be
actors.
just
It-
men.
It couldn't be
didn't
actresses.
say
too.
that. It just said actors in the headline, but didn't say it in the rules. So, but
I'm
I mean,
assuming-
again, it may be that the money-wise, men get paid. They draw the most money.
Julia Roberts gets $20 million of film,
And she's been around.
and she's been
has
around
done a lot more than Eddie
and
Murphy.
her movies are huge.
I didn't make the list, Tom.
Yes,
No,
you did.
I think it's a male. It's only males in the list,
Which is fine. I just
which
wanted
is
to know
fine,
if
yeah.
that's what it was.
Doesn't say that. It just
But
says the
it's
10 most
inferred.
valuable actors of all
Right.
time.
Not actresses.
To me, actors are female or male.
Well, you're incorrect.
And in Hollywood, that's how
Not gonna correct
that's
if you-
how actors refer to themselves, men and women, as actors.
Yeah,
it's
but
very
that's-
confusing.
They call themselves actors.
I understand that.
It's very confusing.
So anyway, that's a little information for you. Now, what do you want to bring up?
My most anticipated acceptance speech that I'm really looking
Of course,
forward
Jennifer.
to. Yes.
Yeah.
Jennifer
Is Sally
Lawrence.
Field's acceptance speech probably the most well known in the last 30 years?
I don't know that there are that many people in the 20s and 30s that would know that acceptance speech.
It was a great acceptance
It's
speech.
history, though. It's history.
I guess it seems like there was another one.
No,
that-
she was on last night with Katie Couric, and they asked
Yeah.
her when she said, "You like me? You really like me?" She said,
Right.
Katie Couric said, "Do you regret that?" She said, "No, that's how I felt exactly."
Right.
You know, it's the shock value of the Oscars, though. The things you remember the most. You like me, you really like me.
Mm-hmm.
But you would find more people. We were talking about this last night at cocktails after work. People remember Jack Palance doing the one-arm push-ups when
Yep.
Billy Crystal was
Right.
hosted more than they remember accepting speech.
I
acceptance
remember
speeches.
Oprah giving Jamie Foxx advice the year he won
for Ray.
for Ray, and she said, before he won, she gave him advice on his acceptance speech, and her points were: number one, be prepared. Don't get up there and be,
Bumbling.
unexpecting.
Right.
Are they going
Have
to do that
something
thing this
to
year
say.
again where they have the person stand in front of them and talk about them like they did one time before? Remember
That was really well
like
done,
that.
but that was, I think, 2 years ago,
was-
and I
did
don't.
it 2
they
years in
didn't
a
do
row.
it last year. I don't. Think.
I'd like that a lot, where they actually stood and talked to them about their careers, because it really gave you a perspective, and you could tell the actors got really emotional.
Yeah, it was
of an
very
interview
well
thing,
done.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to do that or not. I don't think it's Seth MacFarlane's style, but we'll see. But have something to say, and don't just get up there and become a hot mess
Is this one of the
and
most
forget about why you're there.
Is this one of the most anticipated opening monologues in
I don't
quite a few
think
years?
so, because I don't think there are that
I
many
don't-
people who know who he is.
I believe the Oscars will have 18 to 30-year-olds watching more this year than they have in the last 30
They won't
years.
have a lot of 40-year-olds.
Because Seth MacFarlane's there.
That's their goal.
Yeah.
And
that's what I'm saying. Because of that, is it one of the most anticipated by the Academy? Not by the general public, but the Academy, because they feel like it's going to get an audience
come
that
on.
they're not used to having.
Let's be honest about it, okay? Regardless of age group, let's talk about Bob Hope, Johnny Carson, Billy Crystal, on and on, and Seth MacFarlane. Who didn't fit in this picture?
Seth MacFarlane has the highest
But he
grossing
doesn't
film.
fit in. That's great.
And he's also been a comedic writer for a really long
Wonderful.
time. And they're looking for somebody new because they went backwards last year to Billy Crystal, and it didn't work.
But you may not.
I understand, but
They
it
had to,
wasn't.
and
But you may not like
that
Seth
chapter is
MacFarlane.
closed.
That has nothing to do with it.
You may
So-
not like Seth MacFarlane, but the 18 to 40 demographic,
Right.
which is besides the demographic 65 and older, which is the largest demographic, the next largest demographic, 18 to 40, are all of them to a person know who Seth MacFarlane is.
But you missed my point.
Who else are they
To
gonna
them,
do?
they think Seth MacFarlane is just as good as Bob Hope.
Come on now.
You ask JJ. Ask JJ, Seth MacFarlane or Bob
he
Hope.
may think it.
I don't know about Bob Hope, but Billy Crystal sucks, buddy.
No, he's
he's not
not
funny, dude. He sucks.
But I'm not talking about him doing it today. I'm talking about in context
Yeah.
of his career.
I mean, I've seen him do the
I can
Oscars
say
a couple
Tom goes out and hits 50 home runs in softball this year. He's not as big as Babe Ruth. I'm sorry.
But Seth MacFarlane,
not name-wise.
30 years from now, Seth MacFarlane will be thought
be
of
in that
comedic-wise
Call me in
the
30
same way
years.
Billy
Right.
Crystal
Call me in
is.
30
Who
years.
else
Right
are
now,
you,
he's not.
who else are you going to get? Jimmy
don't
Fallon
know.
said no.
I don't know.
Jay
I'm just
Leno is
saying,
not gonna
in
do
the
it.
context of the people who have had that microphone in their hand, these were legends.
Well, but they weren't.
Legends.
They're
But, buddy,
legends now.
To everybody
They
under the
weren't
age of 40,
legends then.
to everybody under the age of
Please
40,
don't tell
Seth
me-
MacFarlane
please
is a
don't.
legend.
Please
And
don't.
it's Billy Crystal.
Wait, hold time out.
Really.
What did you just say?
To people under the age of 40,
He is
Seth
a
MacFarlane
legend?
is a legend.
Yes.
Oh, he is.
Look at his
JJ.
His
IMDb
show,
page.
his show is.
His
Is it the
show's one of the
Family
most
Guy?
watched TV shows
The Family
that
Guy?
there is.
I guarantee you, You take a list of the 50 top legends in our country in show business, sports, he will not be on it, period.
No. If you ask 18 to 40 year olds, yes, he would be.
Somebody besides 18 to 40 are watching the
That's not,
it's a whole.
You're missing my
crowd.
point. I said from 18 to 40 year olds, which is the demographic the Academy wants because they're the ones with money.
Well, great. Let's put Justin Bieber on and host a thing.
Let me tell you.
They got a lot of
they'd get a ton of audience.
Then that's what they had to do.
Well, I'm just this is one of these
channels
instances.
Are struggling, man.
This is one of these instances.
NBC just got 5th place behind Univision. Like, these channels stink. Nobody watches them, so they're gonna have to get younger people.
I can't say
start
nobody
watching.
watches
Billy
them,
Crystal.
but-
Nobody wants to see him.
One of
again.
the few.
JJ,
Wait, whoa.
Wait, no, let me finish. I never said we should get Billy Crystal back. You're
Yeah,
misinterpreting what I said.
But you have to realize one of the few revenue generating shows for these networks are live broadcast. That's where people don't DVR through advertising. This is where they get top dollar in advertising for live events. And they have got to tap into that demographic if they're going to maximize their revenue. That's it.
You may not like Seth MacFarlane. You may not think he's that big a deal, but from the 18 to 40 year olds, Seth MacFarlane is a legend, just like Bob Hope and Jack Lemmon
Well, I
is
can't wait to watch that
you.
legend on Sunday night. That's wonderful. Seth MacFarlane, legend. That's words don't fit together. Let's take a break, come back, and see if we can sort this out right here on the Voice of Ocala.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
Course bank approval. Vehicle purchase price fixed rate allowance offers no combined.
Are you bored, tired, and disgusted with your old car?
Hey, this is Cupid, Chris Spears from Prestige Auto Sales. I want you to love your car, so trade in the old car you hate.
Even if you're still making payments, even if you owe more than it's worth.
And I'll help you drive a nicer, newer car sooner than you ever thought possible. Plus, when you use your tax refund as a down payment, you'll get a lot nicer, newer car. So you can hook up with a car you love today.
Bad credit? Cupid got you down? Our For the People credit approval specialists are world-class matchmakers. They'll connect you with the lender most likely to approve your loan.
Hate your old car?
Dump it and fall in love with a nicer, newer car today, even if you owe more than it's worth or still making payments. Plus, turn your tax refund into your down payment and save a lot on a car you'll love.
Hurry, this love fest ends when we match 57 people with a car of their dreams. I'm Chris Spears, and I'm a dealer for the people. Visit me in Ocala or Bellevue.
Online at PrestigeSaysYes.com or call 694-1234. See you at Prestige.
Hi, I'm Lisa Midget with Kinetic Motion Fitness, Ocala's premier small group and personal training fitness studio. Did you know you can achieve all your fitness goals, whether that's losing weight, getting fit, or training for a personal best, all with no membership fees? Have you ever been embarrassed or intimidated at a big gym because you're not a Greek god or a size 0 supermodel? Have you ever felt like your gym would rather you not even show up? At KMF, we have a team approach that focuses on small classes and personal training, and you'll feel like family, not just another number. No more boring treadmills or endless reps. Our classes are fun, energetic, and get you the results you want. And I should know, with the help of our great trainers, I lost over 100 pounds in 8 jean sizes, and I did it using no heavy equipment and no magic pills, just fun and effective workouts. And yes, I did say fun. Come join us at KMF. Visit our website at kmfocala.com or like us on Facebook. Again, that was kmfocala.com.
They've served our country. They've kept us free. And they need your help.
We're sitting in Veterans Park. You can't sit here not realizing that you're surrounded by heroes. There are a lot of heroes in our community. A lot of heroes, unfortunately, are not in good financial shape. They're hurting both physically and financially. We step in and help directly. Our role is to reach out to them. We're there to help the veteran. We do counseling. We do outreach. Sometimes it's just coming into the office and sitting down and saying, hey, I've got a problem, and you're talking to another veteran who understands that problem.
Everybody who works for the Vets Helping Vets are awesome, and they are so kind to everybody. They're like my second family. They really are.
They have been there during the holidays. I have gotten unexpected visits, assistance.
Vets Helping Vets of Marion County needs your help. Call today, 352-433-2320, and pledge your support to Vets Helping Vets of Marion County.
It really has been a blessing.
Every day we hear another story about innovation or about cutting-edge technology taking place right here in Ocala. The power plant, IHMC, Ocala 489. Did you know that important medical research is also being conducted here that may impact hundreds of thousands of people in the country someday? Maybe you've heard the name Renstar, but like so many others, perhaps you didn't realize that Renstar Medical Research is one of the top facilities of its kind anywhere in the U.S. There are important research studies being conducted by a highly qualified team of medical experts at Renstar, impacting decisions of major pharmaceutical companies and bringing new drugs to market. And you can be a part of these studies, as so many local people have done and are currently doing. Renstar has conducted more than 500 studies since its inception and would like to extend the opportunity to you to be a part of these cutting-edge programs. Call 877-629-5800 or 352-629-5800 if you'd like to know more. Renstar Medical Research, locally owned and operated in beautiful downtown Ocala. Renstar, seeking tomorrow's answers to the health questions of today.
All right, we got caught up in this discussion about who should host the Oscars and who's a legend. I didn't realize Seth MacFarlane was a legend until I did this show today. Anyway, Laurie wants to do some health here. So we had a couple of stories there to talk about. Which one do you want to choose? We got time for one.
Screening is certainly an interesting topic. You sent me an article about screening is excessive and what's going on with, and we're talking about health screening.
Right.
Repeat tests, doing mammograms, prostate tests, these sort of quote-unquote routine screening tests that our doctors seem to put us through. And interestingly enough, right after I read that article this morning, which I believe was in the Wall Street Journal, I read an article in the Washington Post from today that said that there's a group of doctors that came out today and announced a list of 90 procedures you should never do. And I think there's an interesting message here. One is why are we doing so many screenings and why all this noise about it in the first place? What caused this, and then what should we do about it? And the first point, what caused this, is pretty simple and clear, and this is something I've been aware of for a while. Because we're in an era where malpractice insurance has gone skyrocketing for physicians, physicians will err on the side most of the time on ordering tests and screenings to cover their own butts. They make sure, and it's no expense to them because usually the insurance company will pay for the test. So why not just have the test, and that way they have the protection that they need to prove if it ever comes back upon them, with a patient, that there was a malpractice issue or a problem. So that's one of the reasons why we've entered into such an excessive testing era. And the second point is, okay, well, what do we do about it? I actually recently just went through something like this, and I think that the most important thing you can do is have a medical professional in your Rolodex, on your list, on your team, that you really respect. It might be a nurse who's a friend. It might be a doctor that you've found, that you've sought out, that you really, really trust, and you are comfortable with their style being consistent with yours. I don't like to do excessive tests. I didn't even start doing regular mammograms until I hit 50. So, and I for 10 years, my doctors kept trying to push me toward it. I kept saying, no, I know I don't need it, and when I turn 50, then I'll consider it. But I found a doctor who also is conservative on testing. So, find somebody who's going to be in alignment with you and how you feel about this. Do your research. You've got the internet. Look up information about a specific test, find out how really at risk are you, and then decide for yourself. Remember, you are the customer. When you go see a doctor, they don't have all the answers, they don't have the power, and they certainly aren't as invested as you are for your health. Nobody cares more than you. So it's up to you to do some due diligence and don't be afraid to ask questions. That's my take on that.
The article, this one I got, is about they deal specifically with mammograms, and it's quite interesting. I don't have time to read from it now, but it's called "The Experts: Have We Entered a Period Where People Are Screening Too Much for Disease?" If you log on to the Wall Street Journal and just type in "too much screening" or something, it'll come right up. You get a chance to read it. Important, I think, as you say, Laurie, because well, we know doctors tell us to do something, we do it. And justifiably, they do, in fact, cover the tracks because they get sued for malpractice. And then the costs of healthcare go up, and we pay for that. So
Eventually, we're paying for it.
Thanks, Laurie. That's it for Laurie Martin Gregory. Coming up the next hour, we think we'll hear from the guy who is live right now over Daytona, and the twin 150s. The second one, I think, might be over. Coming up in a few minutes, we'll be talking to Todd Swearingen, NASCAR Todd Swearingen, and we've got a scheduled appointment with Michael Compton to talk about horses, including JJ's horse, Violence, which runs Saturday at Gulfstream, and we'll wrap it up with Fran's Beard Talking Hoop right here on Ocala's only local radio show in the afternoon. The Voice of Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Relations got you down. Are you at your wit's end? Does the opposite sex just confuse you? Then I've got the solution for you, Dr. Buddy.
Well, let me just tell you what you slugs are doing wrong. Remember, dummy, it's about the chase and the romantic interludes, okay? Now, here's the difference. Instead of dinner and a movie, which seems obsolete these days, they have this random phone text, Facebook post, instant message, and quote-unquote non-dates. Traditional courtship, which is still what women want, guys. Picking up a telephone, asking someone on a date, maybe even going as far to pick them up in your car, requires courage, strategic planning, and a considerable investment in ego.
So now you know where to tune in to get all your relationship advice. It's the Dr. Buddy Show every Monday on the Voice of Ocala. You can succeed only on 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
Hi, I'm Tom Ingram, CEO of Gateway Bank, inviting you to drop by our main office on Silver Springs Boulevard every Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. for the Community Gazette, a 3-hour show focusing on our favorite community to live and work, Ocala, Marion County. Come join us with the Voice of Ocala, Buddy Martin, in the new old-fashioned bank radio studio as we discuss a variety of interesting topics on the Community Gazette on WOCA, The Source.
Hi, this is Buddy Martin. If you have an award or a trophy in your house, there's more than a good chance it came from BJ Trophies Gifts and Awards. At BJ Trophies, Floyd Hirschberger and his staff have a lot more than just trophies. Among the items they specialize in are donor recognition walls and trees, personalized or engraved gifts, cast bronze dedication plaques, wide format digital printing with posters, banners, and signs, and promotional products. Floyd is the official trophy and awards maker for the Voice of Ocala radio show and is North Central Florida's leader in custom recognition programs, corporate awards, industrial engraving, unique gifts, and advertising specialties. When Angie Lewis went shopping for something to award to the winners of her State Farm Good Neighbor Award, she shopped first at BJ Trophies Awards and Gifts. Check them out at 1735 Northeast Jacksonville Road on North Magnolia's Miracle Mile, or call them today at 352-732-2249. BJ Trophies Awards and Gifts. Trophies is just our middle name.
Digital Graphics Reborn. Phoenix Promotional Solutions. When you need vehicle wraps, banners, t-shirts, window graphics, you need to call Phoenix Promotional Solutions at 368-2404. 368-2404. When you need building signs, vehicle wraps, yard signs, realty signs, business cards, you need to call 368-2404. 368-2404. Phoenix Promotional Solutions. Digital Graphics Reborn.
Black cow, the mature manure black cow.
With all the hard work you put into your lawn and garden, it just makes good sense to use the best products you can buy, like Black Cow composted cow manure. Use it with new landscape plants and trees, flower beds, and vegetable gardens, or use it as a top dressing for your lawn. Black Cow is organic, all natural. Look for the bright yellow and black bag.
Black cow, the mature manure black cow.
Habitat for Humanity of Marion County is a ministry dedicated to improving lives by providing affordable and decent housing. Help them help others by visiting the Habitat for Humanity Ocala home store on Northwest 27th Avenue. To schedule a donation, give them a call and they'll come and pick it up. For more information, visit habitatocala.org. Habitat for Humanity of Marion County, building homes, building hope, building community.
Every day we hear another story about innovation or about cutting-edge technology taking place right here in Ocala. The power plant, IHMC, Ocala 489. Did you know that important medical research is also being conducted here that may impact hundreds of thousands of people in the country someday? Maybe you've heard the name Renstar, but like so many others, perhaps you didn't realize that Renstar Medical Research is one of the top facilities of its kind anywhere in the U.S. There are important research studies being conducted by a highly qualified team of medical experts at Renstar, impacting decisions of major pharmaceutical companies and bringing new drugs to market. And you can be a part of these studies, as so many local people have done and are currently doing. Renstar has conducted more than 500 studies since its inception and would like to extend the opportunity to you to be a part of these cutting-edge programs. Call 877-629-5800 or 352-629-5800 if you'd like to know more. Renstar Medical Research, locally owned and operated in beautiful downtown Ocala. Renstar, seeking tomorrow's answers to the health questions of today.
You're listening to WOCA News Talk 1370, Ocala's source for what's happening in today's hottest, up-to-date news and topics.
ABC News Now, I'm Daria Albinger. Our lives are fast-paced and they change rapidly, and we eat that way too. The National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey found American adults eat 11% of their total daily calories in fast food. That's less than in recent years, but health experts say it's still too much. The Great Recession's had a profound impact on younger adults. A Pew Research survey says those under the age of 35 are less likely to own a home or a car than the same age group back in the year 2000. They're also more likely to have student loan debt. Snow in February, that's nothing new, but when it falls at a rate of 2 inches an hour or more, that's something else. And that's what parts of the Midwest are getting today. As a forecaster in St. Louis said, instead of pouring rain, it's pouring snow. Dealing with a jerk? Give him the silent treatment. Researchers at Baruch College, City University of New York, say it's more mentally healthy to abruptly end a conversation with someone obnoxious than to continue speaking to them. This is ABC News.
At Advanced Auto Parts, we don't just sell parts. Oh, no. We get you the part you need. Lickety-split. Our knowledgeable team members will do the legwork, arm work, or torso work, whatever it takes, to make sure you don't just get a part, you get the right part. Fast. Plus, right now, get up to $50 back by mail when you buy Moog steering and suspension products. Only at Advanced Auto Parts. See store for details. Mail-in rebate. Void where prohibited.
Don't mind me. I'll just sit here quietly while you drive. Hey, so how many miles you got on this baby? Got a lot, huh? I'll be quiet. You know it doesn't have six-figure mileage on it? Every Honda certified used car. Yep, each is a well-maintained late-model Honda. Each gets a grueling 150-point inspection, too. And I'll stop talking. Hey, this is where I get out anyway. So yeah, Honda certified used cars. Next best thing to new. Just saying.
How much time? 30 seconds. I'm on right now. I don't believe you.
Okay. Enough kidding around.
Ho, 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 ho.
And now it's time for the Buddy Martin Sports Page.
He actually had me stay here last night in his gym.
It's like I don't fit in. It's like I don't belong here. Let's go talk to a couple of guys that never gamble.
Oh, see, I made Lewis a bet here. See, Lewis bet me that we couldn't both get rich and put you on the poorhouse at the same time. He didn't think we could do it. Gambling is illegal at Bushwood, sir, and I never slide.
And now, here's Buddy.
Hi, welcome, Buddy Sports Page. On a Thursday afternoon, the results are in on the Twin 150s in Daytona. I'll tell you about that in just a minute. The Magic have made a trade. We'll catch up on that in just a minute as well. Coming up in a couple of minutes, we may be hearing from NASCAR Todd Swearingen, who's over in Daytona, if he can get to a place where he can use his phone. And 5:30, we'll talk about the big race this weekend in Gulfstream with a Derby prep race worth 85 points. Violence returns to the Fountain of Youth Stakes. So we'll talk with Michael Compton about that. Franz Beer joins us in the last quarter of an hour to talk about Gator basketball and other events involving the Gators. JJ, what you got for headlines today?
All right, well, today was the NBA trade deadline, and the biggest name was Josh Smith for the Hawks. He did not get traded. Hawks decided to hold on to him.
That was a surprise, I think.
Right. The Hawks are about 7th in the East, and they usually finish around there and never do anything in the playoffs. J.J. Redick got traded from the horrible Magic team to the Bucks, who are in 8th place in the playoffs right now, for Tobias Harris, Bino Adrai, and Deron Lamb, who I only know him because he played for UConn when they won the national title a couple
He was
years
a pretty
ago.
good college player.
Right. Celtics also made a trade. They got rid of Leandro Barbosa. Or the Wizards got Leandro Barbosa, Jason Collins. Celtics got Jordan Crawford. Blazers got Eric Maynor, and the Thunder received $2.2 million. There's really Ronnie Brewer. Didn't he play for the Gators?
No, not Ronnie
different Brewer.
Just different.
All right, and that was from the Knicks. He got traded to the Thunder. That's really everybody that got traded today.
Not much action there.
Absolutely
not much
nobody
anticipated.
worthwhile.
Obviously not Dwight
J.J.
Howard.
Redick, when he's the big name, that's when you know it's dead.
All right. Thank you, JJ. Time to go out to Daytona now and see if we can hook up with NASCAR Todd Swearingen, who just finished watching Kyle Busch win the second Twin 150. Are you there, Todd?
I'm here.
How was it?
It was good. It was a beautiful day. Hopefully Sunday can be a lot like this. The weather forecast right now is not as promising as today was, but hey, today was good.
What did you see out there today? You have a good eye. You texted me earlier this week that the cars were about 10 miles an hour faster in the qualifying. How did it play out today in the races? Were they that much faster?
You know, I think they're still figuring these cars out, but that was the consensus among folks in the garage area is that they're still trying to figure out what adjustments to make, how to race these cars. I think you saw a lot of that in the first race. Danica Patrick was the buzz. I mean, there's a lot of pressure on that young lady. But her race cars is not very good. Once she started racing, she was up front, it looked good, and she started falling back. Well, that's the first indication that something's wrong. Well, the car just got really tight, and her words in the post-race press conference was it was crazy tight. So I think the teams, whether you're brand new or your first Daytona 500, or you have guys that have been around, it's pretty level set because everybody is in new cars. You don't have this inventory of, okay, we've raced here 25 times under these conditions with this kind of car. Well, everybody's got the same Generation 6 brand new race car. They look great. Fans love them. I think it's going to be a really good race. But there's a lot of question marks about how to race, and I think that's still yet to be decided.
Yeah, now you and Tom can talk about it and explain to us exactly what that all means in a second. Tom will be there for the races this weekend. But I want to get a quick Danica question in. Is this a setback for her?
No, I think it would have been a big setback had she wrecked out or made some mistake that could have took some of the shine off. Look, she's still going to roll off first. I mean, the last name they're going to call on Sunday, right before the Jets fly over and the Star Spangled Banner's played and all that, is going to be hers. So she's still got this monumental spotlight on her until Sunday at 1:15 or whatever when the green flag drops. So she still starts first. So I don't think it was a setback. A little disappointing in the performance of the car, but it's not just her; it's the whole field is fighting. I mean, you watch the guys today. I think the storyline today is it really wasn't who was up front; it was who wasn't. It's Tony Stewart, Dale Earnhardt Jr., guys like that you expect to be up there. They just weren't. And they weren't even a factor in either race. So. Not a setback, but I think it was just a neutral day. She still starts first.
We're talking with Todd Swearingen and Tom Schmitz here. When somebody asks the question, is it a setback? Really, the pole winner's job isn't to go out and if you win the duels, that's fine. But your main objective, if you're Danica Patrick or Jeff Gordon, is not to crash and have to go to a backup car and start at the end of the field, isn't it?
Oh yeah, well under the new rules with the engines and all the cost-saving measures that NASCAR put in about 4 years ago, if you're already up front, especially at the Daytona 500, you got all the eyes on you. I mean, think about GoDaddy.com this week. I mean, they're getting millions in free publicity, based on 2 laps. 5 miles has produced, I don't know, probably $50 million worth of advertising.
Well,
so the job is, you're right, don't wreck out, don't blow it up, and keep it up front where you can start first. Because one thing we saw today is the cars that were up front, that 4 or 5 that get up front, there's a big difference in what you can do if you're up there. It was hard to catch up. I didn't see anybody, even though there was a couple of times where there was a 7-8 car train single file trying to catch the leaders. They just couldn't do it. And I don't know, weather conditions, wind's got a lot to do with that. Of course, they're drafting at 205 miles an hour, but you want to be up front. That's the whole key to, and it goes without saying in any race, but if you're going to compete, you're going to do it in that first 5 or 6 spots. I think I saw that today.
Go ahead, Tom.
Before we get to the race on Sunday and everything, did you hear the news now that these dual 150s are really going to become, you won't learn anything about the cars because they're moving it to a nighttime race starting next year?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good move for NASCAR to have it in prime time because they lack that during the year. Look, this is their Super Bowl. They start the season with the biggest race. The Twins, I think over the years, it's become sort of if you can drive to them in Florida, attendance is down across the board in a lot of sports. But I think that having it on a Thursday night, I think it opens up the door for folks to get off work to be able to go to that race. Certainly people watching it. I think that's a good move. The weather can be so iffy here in Daytona. We all know in Florida. Look, last qualifying, it didn't get above 60 degrees. If they race Sunday, it's going to be in the mid-80s. So racing at night's not going to be that big of a deal the way things go down here.
Yeah, you talked about GoDaddy.com getting on publicity. Of course, the drivers got it all down. We just watched Kyle Busch's interview in the post-race interview, and he's very smoothly, JJ and I watched him get in 5 of his sponsors in the first 3 minutes of the reaction. So they know how to sell, don't they? Well, if you're paying about $500,000 a race, you're expecting that guy to get your name out. So they do spend some time practicing that and making sure that, hey, if you had the same sponsors that you had last year, it's pretty easy. But if you got somebody new for 2013, you better make sure that you get them in. All right,
last question, Todd, and we'll let you go. Everybody that's a NASCAR fan knows the number one driver fan base-wise is the 88 car. And you said he didn't do anything spectacular today. What's the word in the pit area, the garage area, about the 88 and their chances on Sunday?
Well, going in to the past couple of days, talking to a couple of different groups of guys, there was 3 cars that everybody wanted to watch. One was Trevor Bayne because he had been really fast in all the practice sessions, and he was fast the day before he got wrecked out. I think it was unfortunate because I think he might have had the best car in that first race, although Kevin Harvick would have been right there with him. Another guy was everybody's looking at is Jimmy Johnson. He's kind of struggled to this point. And certainly Junior is always that factor. Okay, he knows how to draft. I don't think they're sandbagging. I think they're in that same spot of they're still trying to figure it out. There's 2 more practice sessions. You've got tomorrow. You've got Saturday. There's a lot to be done before Sunday. Then you get into the race on Sunday. That's if it runs on Sunday with the way the weather is. It could be another Monday night race. So I think they'll be there at the end, but I don't think this is going to be one of those 30-car, single line, 10 to go kind of fights. I think it's going to come down to 5 or 6 cars are going to dominate the race, and whoever's up front in that group are going to be the ones that compete and ultimately win the Daytona 500.
Well, Todd, I'm there for Saturday. I got a 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock show Saturday from on top of the Sprint Fan Zone. Then I'm there Sunday for a 10 to 11 show on top of the Sprint Fan Zone and for the race. I got my cold pass. I'm not as good as you. I don't get a hot pass. I just got a cold pass. But we need to hook up so I can really get a tutorial on what I don't. You forgot more about NASCAR than I'll know, so I want to hook up with you this weekend.
All you got to do is go watch it, man. And as I say that, I'm driving to Volusia County Speedway tonight for the big Thursday night race. They got a big $20,000 to win race there tonight. And actually, you'll see a lot of these guys that race today. Clint Boyer, Casey Kane, they all own cars in these races. Tony Stewart will be there tonight. Got to get a plug in for my buddy Tim Chrisman. If you're looking for a great race and you don't want to drive all the way to Daytona, go to Volusia County tonight.
I'm going to watch the World of Outlaws at Bubba Raceway right here in Ocala tonight.
There you go.
All right, real quick, give me a winner, Todd.
Kevin Harvick.
Kevin Harvick. You heard NASCAR Todd. There's his pick. Thank you.
Kevin Harvick.
Talk to you hopefully down the line somewhere. Thanks, Todd.
See you.
Todd Swearingen, NASCAR Todd. Take a break, come back, check up on the latest news. Coming up in a few minutes, we'll talk about horse racing. I'm sure the Lakers will work their way into the conversation with Michael Compton because why? He's a big Laker fan. Next, right here on Buddy Sports Page.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
Every day we hear another story about innovation or about cutting-edge technology taking place right here in Ocala. The power plant, IHMC, Ocala 489. Did you know that important medical research is also being conducted here that may impact hundreds of thousands of people in the country someday? Maybe you've heard the name Renstar, but like so many others, perhaps you didn't realize that Renstar Medical Research is one of the top facilities of its kind anywhere in the U.S. There are important research studies being conducted by a highly qualified team of medical experts at Renstar, impacting decisions of major pharmaceutical companies and bringing new drugs to market. And you can be a part of these studies, as so many local people have done and are currently doing. Renstar has conducted more than 500 studies since its inception and would like to extend the opportunity to you to be a part of these cutting-edge programs. Call 877-629-5800 or 352-629-5800 if you'd like to know more. Renstar Medical Research, locally owned and operated in beautiful downtown Ocala. Renstar, seeking tomorrow's answers to the health questions of today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And so is State Farm agent Angie Lewis, working hard to serve her community as a citizen and insurance agent. Angie wants to help you as you adjust your insurance needs to your life. From everything to helping educate your teen driver to protecting your family against everyday risk. She wants to change the way you perceive insurance by developing relationships with her clients, which is why Angie and her staff are proud to be a part of so many good causes in Ocala. In turn, she has chosen to single out those who step up as leaders. Each month on the Voice of Ocala, Angie spotlights a good neighbor, saluting those who give exceptional service or do random acts of kindness to others. For this, Angie was written up in State Farm's national magazine. Angie also supports local businesses with a regular Biz Buzz. The Angie Lewis State Farm Agency is located at 1122 Northeast 36th Avenue, where visitors are always welcome and the coffee pot is always on. Call your good neighbor's State Farm agent today, Angie Lewis, at 294-2444.
Hi, this is Tom Schmitz, the host of Buddy's Saturday Sports Page on WOCA. The Saturday Sports Page is your weekend destination for everything sports, from NASCAR to golf, baseball to boxing, and of course the best, most comprehensive football coverage on the radio. Also, you don't want to miss my weekly Are You Kidding Me rant? So join me and JJ LaSalva every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. for Buddy's Saturday Sports Page on WOCA, The Source.
Call me crazy. Some people say insanity is doing the same thing over and over expecting a different result. I think insanity is 1,000 single-sided full-color business cards for $15 or packing service for 50% off. Call me crazy. Regency Printing on the corner of Northeast 25th Avenue and 24th Street, 789-6683. That's 789-6683. Look for the yellow signs.
They've served our country. They've kept us free. And they need your help.
We're sitting in Veterans Park. You can't sit here not realizing that you're surrounded by heroes. There are a lot of heroes in our community. A lot of heroes, unfortunately, are not in good financial shape. They're hurting both physically and financially. We step in and help directly. Our role is to reach out to them. We're there to help the veteran. We do counseling. We do outreach. Sometimes it's just coming into the office and sitting down and saying, hey, I've got a problem, and you're talking to another veteran who understands that problem.
Everybody who works for the Vets Helping Vets are awesome, and they are so kind to everybody. They're like my second family. They really are.
They have been there during the holidays. I have gotten unexpected visits, assistance.
Vets Helping Vets of Marion County needs your help. Call today, 352-433-2320, and pledge your support to Vets Helping Vets of Marion County.
It really has been a blessing.
Don't ever miss a single edition of the Mike Huckabee Show. We're going to have a whole lot of fun talking the big issues of the day. We'll talk to the newsmakers and the issues that made them a newsmaker, as well as we'll bring you some entertainment, some fun. You never know what's going to happen on the Mike Huckabee Show. Don't miss it.
Join Mike Huckabee every weekday from noon to 3 exclusively on WOCA The Source.
To see the governor.
All right, well, back to the program. The combines are going on. I don't know how much interest is in the combines, but we'll talk about it in a minute. Tim Tebow, if you've been following, he's always seems to make it in the news, but you know he had promised to go to this church, mega church in Dallas, and has been saying the whole time he's going to go. This particular church happens to have let's say, a different sort of view of certain groups. Certainly, some would say they are prejudiced against certain groups, including Muslims, Jews, Mormons, and homosexuals particularly. And Tebow, it sounded like he was going to go regardless, but scathing reports, scathing comments, columns were written about this, telling Tebow he should not be going. And today, lo and behold, Tim Tebow announced, due to quote-unquote new information brought to my attention, I have decided to cancel my upcoming appearance. And he goes on to say how he uses his platform to bring about talk about his faith, etc. But I'm a little surprised at this. It probably was the right thing to do, because at this level, you got to be careful who you associate yourself with, because these kinds of things can do you in a hurry. Not that Tim Tebow has a particularly brilliant future at playing pro football, but as he goes down the line, he has to evaluate these things as he goes. And if you're going to come out against a group of people like that, as this church apparently has in their pastor, as good as I'm sure there are many great churches in the Dallas area, this probably has its place. But when you're nationally known for what some would be calling being a hate group, I don't know that that's what it is, but that's what they would call it. It's not a good thing to align yourself with them if you're in the public and you're a public figure. And let's face it, Tim Tebow's not an evangelist right now. He's a football player. So, what do you guys think?
President Obama, when he was running for president in 2008, left the church he attended on a regular basis all because Reverend Wright was thought to be a little edgy.
A little edgy. He's crazy.
Well, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that was the church Obama attended regularly. President Obama attended regularly.
No.
And he cut ties because he realized, now that he was in the national spotlight and all, that you just have to make decisions and that are sometimes you have to leave those that aren't actually on the message you're trying to put out. And I don't think this Tim Tebow's persona, I don't believe, I know for a fact, doesn't have any kind of hatred or prejudice in it. So to align itself with a church, allegedly or not, that has prejudice, was probably not a smart move. So canceling the event.
So you think it's the right one?
It's probably a good thing.
What do you think, JJ?
Yeah, it's not a good deal.
Mike,
how about your mic? How about your mic?
Mike's got to be on. Yeah.
But aside from the PR move,
aside from the PR part, how about just the whether it's the right moral decision? That's the key thing, and certainly PR wise, it was the right move. I'm a little surprised, though, I must say, because I thought he's the kind of guy that, when he makes a commitment and he deals with a group, a faith group like that. But it's probably part of the education of Tim Tebow, and I certainly understand it, and I agree it probably was the right thing for him to do. So, all right. Are they playing golf out in Arizona, Mr. Golf? Or are they still?
They are playing golf.
They got their snowsuits on, or what's going on?
They're teeing it up. Right now, Roy McIlroy is up 2 through 5 on Lowry. Tiger Woods down 1 through 3 to Charles Howell III. That's a tough draw for. I don't think Charles Howell III is a 16 seed, but he is. He is in this.
Well, you said when you heard that draw, you thought it'd be a tough one for him, and I wasn't sure because Tiger was a great match player. He won all the 2 U.S. amateurs. Was it 3?
3 in a row.
3 U.S. amateurs in match play. He knows how to do that. But hey, maybe you'll be proved to be right. Maybe it will be a tough draw.
Some of your winners today already: Matt Kuchar moves on, Sergio Garcia moves on, Justin Rose moves on, Ian Poulter has moved on. The big upset today is the number 3 seed Charles Schwartzel, Masters champion, eliminated by Ricky Henley. That's a 3 exactly. It's a 3-14. Bubba Watson 1 up through 15 on somebody named Wood. I don't even know who that is. And Lee Westwood is all square with Cabrera Bello through 14. So some of the big names in a dogfight. Graham McDowell and Patrick Harrington, though, the one I was looking forward to watching.
No.
I got Golf Channel DVR at the house. Graham McDowell 3 up through 10, so he's got that match well in hand against Patrick Harrington.
Yeah, I mean, this match play thing has never taken off, and I thought it would. It just has never
Greg
been.
Norman thought it would take off. Remember, he went to war against the PGA Tour over it.
Well, my former boss, Jack Vickers, before he started the International, that was his dream to have a match play event, and the PGA Tour said, no, it won't work. and then they do it years later. But
it just never has taken off.
It just doesn't. It's just hard to, the whole sort of rhythm is hard to watch on TV. I think the match can end in the 13th or 14th hole. You can't see all the matches. Then when you get down to the final day, there's really only 4 players on the, and 2 of them don't mean anything.
So it doesn't. What was it? Last year you had like a 12 seed and an 8 seed playing each other for the championship.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not going to get you. I think the Skins game is better than that.
The Skins game was a lot better, and I'm a little upset they did away with the Skins game, to be honest with you.
It was very popular to have it on Christmas Day, remember?
Although I'm not trying to, pat you on the back or anything, because I would never do that.
I know that, don't worry.
Mr. Bob Hope is a legend, and Seth MacFarlane hitting, but anyway.
I just looked up legends, by the way. I didn't see Seth MacFarlane's name on it.
Well, that's because you looked in the old people's guide.
No, I actually looked in the one. Well, that would be you, because I looked on your age group. So there you go.
So, but the golf tournament you were associated with in Denver, with the Stableford scoring, I really liked that brand of golf just because it was different from the every week golf.
Yeah, had some great finishes.
It was a great golf tournament.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, a lot of things. JJ's all interested about this combine. I can't get. I've just read an article about. Here's the latest offensive lineman and the tight ends, and here's how long their arms are, and here's how big their biceps are, and all that stuff. And
the 40 is what I like.
Here's my problem.
That's really the only one.
But here's my problem with what you like, JJ. The 40.
They're not wearing pads. Okay,
no, that's not what bothers me. Everybody at the combine runs a 40, correct?
No. I mean, you don't have to do everything.
No, that's not what I'm saying. But the 40 is there, and every position can run the 40 if they want to, correct? I don't know how much football you played in your lifetime, but I played football for quite a while. There is no lineman ever that's going to be in a 40-yard sprint ever on a football field where it matters.
Not the position I would care about.
But the point that they're having to do it, there's no linebacker very few linebackers does a 40-yard dash matter. So what if he can run
I think a linebacker you got to be quick.
Quick is not fast.
Fast is quick.
No, it's two separate things.
I think what JJ's talking about, the wide receivers and the backs and the skill
positions.
But they put so much emphasis in the NFL on the 40-yard dash, and it's really a useless stat except for running backs, cornerbacks, and receivers.
Okay, well, those are the iconic positions.
That's what he cares about.
Right, but the fact
that's what the combine's for. The combine's not to see a defensive lineman.
But I was at the NFL Network watching it this morning. And they spent 30 minutes on a bunch of fat guys with 60s on their jersey running down a track 40 yards.
Yeah, because the skill guys weren't
Now,
running.
let me ask you this. How many of the skill guys ever start their pattern running or anything with their hand down on the ground in a track stance?
It still shows how fast of a person you are.
It's not.
And I don't want to have a quarterback running 4.6 on my team.
It doesn't translate to football.
Well, what JJ is saying is apples to apples and whatever. It's just some guy. One more piece of information is not necessarily the thing it's going to make you or break you.
The two things everybody loves the most about the combine: the 40-yard dash and the Wonderlic test. Neither of them translate to football at all.
And the vertical leap.
Well, the Wonderlic test is hilarious to see these dumb guys.
What Vince get? Did he get like a 4 or something?
Yeah, Wonderlic test. This is not Harvard you were talking about. These guys playing football. I'll tell you the thing I want to talk about. This thing about these coaches running on the field. I told you it drove me crazy last year. Now you run eye on the field in the middle of the play in action. Guess what? NFL's going to put a stop to it.
Right.
I'll tell you more about that next, coming up on the other side. Michael Compton talking about the Fountain of Youth Stakes and why it's important to JJ that the horse named Violets perform well on Saturday. Coming up next right here on Buddy Sports Page.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
Hi, this is Buddy Martin. I want to tell you about a conversation I had recently with General Manager Pat Murray on the great family atmosphere at Country Club of Ocala.
It's a family-first club. Again, we have any number of different types of memberships, but obviously the one that attracts the greatest level of interest is our family. And the reason for that is we have a little something for everybody. I mean, we obviously have a world-class golf course. We have 7 tennis courts here for all levels of tennis players. We have a junior Olympic-sized swimming pool. We have a fitness center that's second to none, and we have state-of-the-art equipment in our fitness center.
Country Club of Ocala, where the facilities are all a family would ever need. For more information, call today at 352-237-6644. That's 352-237-6644. Country Club of Ocala, proud sponsor of Monday's Gator Report and Gator Talk Thursday right here on The Source.
Hello, I'm Dawn Lovell, lead event designer and owner at Party Time Rentals. Have you ever wondered what it takes to make an event spectacular? Well, look no further. It's what we do every day, whether you're hosting an intimate dinner for 10 or a gala for thousands. At Party Time Rentals, we find just the right style and elegance to make your event a success. Our extensive inventory of the finest in chandeliers, tents, crystal, china, and specialty items is featured in our fabulous showroom. Stop by and say hello. It's a great way to get ideas for an event and experience for yourself how you can make your party time special.
Party Time Rentals, located on Southwest 10th Street, just off Route 200 in Ocala, and off Southwest 34th Street in Gainesville. For more information, call 352-629-8858. That's 352-629-8858. The party begins at Party Time.
If you want to avoid getting ripped off and put more money in your pocket, then join me, Clark Howard, every weeknight at 6, right here on WOCA, The Source.
Don't get caught in the dark. Call Tri-County Generators, LLC first at 1-800-622-1957, your authorized Generac dealer. Tri-County Generators are there when you need them with new generators for home standby, commercial, RV, and portable generators. They also service your existing systems. Now is the time to act. Be prepared before you have an emergency. Call Mike Gant today at 1-800-622-1957. That's 1-800-622-1957 for Tri-County Generators.
You've got a garden and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
Why is everyone so obsessed with virtual reality and high definition? My neighbor came over yesterday to show me the photographs he took of the pansies and dianthus that I got from Kenny's Place Nursery. He had this electronic pad, and with the flip of his finger, he showed me these beautiful shots he took in my garden. And then he said, you can almost smell them. That's when I used my finger and motioned him to the garden, and then pointing with my cursor, also known as my finger, I pointed toward the real flowers from Kenny's Place Nursery, and I said, I can smell them. Instead of virtual reality, I enjoy real reality. But it is more than the beauty of the pansies and dianthus and more than their fragrance. It's the way they move in the breeze. It's the butterflies and bees that are attracted to them. You know, the plants I get from Kenny's Place Nursery from my garden in the real world provide me with an outdoor sanctuary to escape from that virtual world. Kenny's Place Nursery is located at 7677 Southeast 41st Court in Ocala. Give them a call at 867-1213. Kenny's Place Nursery, where the plants, the people, and the mission are all beautiful.
Hi, I'm Ernie Sprantz. Join me weekday mornings at 10:50 for Report to Consumers. Consumer news you can use from your hometown station. News Talk 1370, WOCA.
Right here since 1957. We're WOCA, News Talk 1370.
You're listening to WOCA, Ocala.
Back on the Voice of Ocala, now time to talk a little bit of racing, and not the kind going on in Daytona Beach, but the kind going on Saturday in places like Gulfstream Park, where a horse named Violence is going to run the Fountain of Youth Stakes. And why is that important? Well, two reasons. Number one, there are points toward the Road to Kentucky Derby point standings, and two, it's JJ's horse.
Correct.
So there you go. And with us to talk about that is the man himself, Michael W. Compton. Hey, Mike, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, guys, good, and great to be with you again. And honestly, I'm as excited for JJ to cash a winning ticket as I am to see Violence run well and get to the Derby.
I'm
That's
not.
what this game's all about.
I'm with you on that. I think it'd be awesome.
I don't want to see him cash a ticket.
You want to see you cash a check.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, that does make it interesting, doesn't it, JJ? You got some skin in the game, even though it's not your skin.
I think I might put a few bucks down.
Oh, now he's going to go out and put a bob on him now. Huh?
Well, this weekend, I know for sure he's racing
There
in
you
this
go.
weekend's race.
One day you look back at JJ and say, well, where did he go wrong? Well,
he started
We
betting on
had
horses.
that Mike Thompson on the show. And,
Michael Compton and drove him right down the gutter, man. I mean,
Right.
Yeah, so, but
Forget
anyways.
all that football betting and all that. It was the horses.
Exactly. Well, again, people say to us, well, your show, when you talk horse racing, you get a little over our heads. So let's break it down in Horse Racing 101 about this race at Gulfstream Park, what it is, why it's important, and who this horse is.
Right. Now, the Fountain of Youth at this stage, as we have said before, these are prep races. So I wouldn't go so far as to say it's like spring training in baseball, but it is the prep season. So this isn't the main objective for this horse, obviously, and for his trainer and the owner. This is a race to get him to move forward. So Violence is a horse that showed a lot of promise last year as a 2-year-old. He's undefeated. He's not been beaten in 3 races. And this is his first step on the Derby crown, on the Derby trail on Saturday. So obviously the trainer, they've been working him steadily. He shows good, solid work. They really would want to see an impressive effort if he has it in him naturally, how they're bringing him up to this race. If he finishes 1, 2, or 3, first, second, or third in this race, I'm sure his connections, will find the positives in that to move forward. But if he is the horse that these people think he is, and this colt cost nearly $700,000 as a yearling. So he has the pedigree. He looks the part. He's a real big, stout colt. He looks like he's going to be able to run all day, meaning the Derby distance should be well within his scope. So this is a horse who, if he's right, or even 80 or 90% right on Saturday, he should handle this field. That being said, it's a prep race.
Well, and then you talk about that horse. You mentioned in your article on michaelwcommon.com, it's a horse named Speak Logistics, 12-1 as a 3-year-old and has local connections.
He does. That horse is by High Cotton, an Ocala stud horse here. It's an OBS graduate. That horse costs $62,000 as a 2-year-old. And definitely the local ties here, bred by Centaur Farms. Centaur Farms has bred many, many nice Florida breds over the years. And Speak Logistics, I got a chance to see him up close at Tampa. He ran against Falling Sky in the Sam Davis Stakes a few weeks ago. That's a traditional prep race for the Tampa Bay Derby coming up on March 9th. And Speak Logistics, I'll tell you, he was making a real nice move at the winner on the far turn of that race, and the winner kind of shut the door on him. Means there was a little bit of an opening on the far turn. The jockey of Speak Logistics tried to slide up on the inside there, and the winner came over just a tad, enough to intimidate the horse enough to where he backed out of it, and he finished 4th in that race. He can easily show up with a real strong performance on Saturday.
Yep. Michael, are you going to the Gulfstream, or you'll be at Tampa on Saturday?
No, I will be home in Ocala this Saturday. We've been down in Miami the last 2 weekends, and Tampa before that. So we'll be watching from afar this week.
Yeah, you'll be watching on TV, and I'm sure you watched last night. Your Lakers won a game, and you're just gloating already.
Oh, like I said, that was one of the most inspired performances I've seen from them in a long time. I mean, Steve Nash was setting guys up. Dwight Howard wins for 24. 7 players in double figures, and, just a real emotional win. And it was funny watching portions of the game. It's not quite the Showtime that I remember from the 80s, but it was inspired basketball for a change. And, I can't believe how spoiled I was growing up in L.A. watching those guys, Magic and Kareem and Jamal Wilson, James Worthy and Kurt Rambis, Mitch Kupchak, all those guys, Norm Nixon, and they worked so well together. You just don't see a lot of that. Those guys were a family, and Dr. Buss built that.
So, Michael, with Michael Compton, Michael Tom here. So what you're saying then is that if they feed Dwight Howard and he gets 25 points a game, the Lakers are unstoppable, so he's the star of the team.
You know, I wouldn't even go so far as to say that this year. I just like seeing Nash setting guys up and guys finishing again.
Just happy to see some progress of your team. That's what you're happy about. Actually playing together. Yeah.
I'm just a little worried that was an emotion. You know, that was one of those emotional wins. I don't know if they can sustain that.
Yeah, we'll see how that works out, but it's interesting. Well, all right, Michael, thank you so much for sharing some time with us. And remember, you can check him out at michaelwcompson.com. He's the most knowledgeable horse racing rider person I know in Florida. So, Michael, thank you.
You bet, you guys. Take care.
All right.
He's really a good guy.
Really good guy. Really good guy. It's the kind of guy you enjoy.
If JJ ends up cashing a ticket, I won't think he's so good anymore.
Yeah, you'd be
because
happy.
do you know how long?
You'd be happy for JJ.
You know how long? Because I know JJ will have a fat wallet, and I will take it from him. Yeah. That's why.
No, I know.
Oh, okay.
It's good. Back to this story I teased about the coaches running on the field. You know,
you're talking about when they run out to call timeout and stuff.
Well,
like
I mean, get off the field.
Throwing the red
Get
flag.
off the field. Period. It used to be a time when the field was sacred. You know, you can't run
that
the
box
field.
in between the 20-yard line and the 20-yard line.
No box. I mean, it's ridiculous. They're on the field in the face of the official calling timeout. And I understand the importance of it, but there's got to be a better system. Maybe they should give them buzzers. So if they want to get a timeout, they could buzz the referee and be like, it'll buzz his arm or something.
That's a good idea.
Well, my point is, running on the field is not a good idea. The NFL says so too, and it's not going to be the Jim Harbaugh rule, but they got him in mind when they're talking about the fact that they talked about today that they need to have more discipline about where our coaches go in terms of the box, according to the NFL's executive vice president of operations. Venturing out on the field beyond traditional markers is something that's just not appropriate. It can interfere, and it has been viewed as intimidating, and we are really going to rein that in. Good for you, NFL. I think that's a good point. So I say hoorah. All right, lots of stuff happening this weekend, including horse racing and basketball and what have you. I want to mention, by the way, before that CF won last night. A big win, not a big win, but the last home game for CF beat Daytona, and a nice evening for Jim Ryan. Tim Ryan. I've known 3 Jim Ryans in my life, 3 of them. I've known 2 Tim Ryans. Anyway, my friend Tim Ryan. He's a little happier than what he was about losing last weekend, so CF wins. Meanwhile, we got racing over in the weekend in Daytona.
Can't wait.
Tell us about it, Tom.
Well, give you an update real quick. Hunter Thompson Turner, talked to him yesterday. Talked to him again today. Hunter says, God willing, he's going to be on the show Saturday morning live from Daytona. I wish him all the best, but I don't want him to rush back. So if you're listening, Hunter, there's no need for you to rush back and cause any damage. Don't you agree, buddy?
Absolutely. But you know Hunter.
I know. Well, we're going over to Daytona Saturday and Sunday. We'll do a show live from 10 to 11 on Saturday, a show live from 10 to 11 on Sunday. And it's all brought to you by Affordable Auto and Air Care. And they did a great job on my car. They just fixed my car for me and everything. Got to meet with Jennifer this week, find out some more things about the good things they can do
and
for you.
And knowing your car, that's a miracle.
It was a miracle, believe me. They get some things. I'm even going to try to talk her out of some oil changes to give away on the air. How about that?
Yeah.
So Affordable Auto and Air Care right here in Ocala. Find them on the web. Look for them right there off of they're on Old Jacksonville Road and 441. Easy to find, big blue building with Affordable Auto and Air Care on the side of the building. Nice people, do great work. They're part of the reason I'm going to Daytona. And also the Redneck Roundup. That's www.theredneckroundup. It's the world's first and only social networking site for rednecks. It's designed by professional programmers for
rocket scientists.
1,500 hours of programming so far. It's the one place on the web where rednecks can come be politically incorrect, or as I like to say, buddy, politically correct. You know what I mean? It's my freedom of speech to say what I want to say. I just have to deal with the repercussions of doing so. Well, you can do that at theredneckroundup.com. So get on over there, sign up today. I signed up recently. Hunter's the rolling redneck on there. Terry Allen, our good friend that lives out in Orange Springs, that was on Redneck Island, she's part of it. So check it out, www.theredneckroundup.com. Make sure you put the in there, not just Redneck Roundup, theredneckroundup.com.
All right, Tom will be broadcasting. You heard him Saturday and Sunday from over Daytona, so check that out. And he'll give you the update, set you up When are you giving us your pick? Tomorrow?
Yeah, I got to look at how the Twins came out and what stuff. It's,
You had children? Oh, I'm sorry.
The Twin 150.
Oh, sorry. I didn't understand that. Exactly.
Seth MacFarlane would have got that joke.
Yeah. Well, Seth is a legend. He should have gotten it. All right, we'll take a break. Come back. We'll join Franz Beard next right here. Talk a little bit about the Tim Tebow situation. We'll talk about the Gator basketball player who was arrested.
Hey,
and we'll talk about some of the issues that the Billy Donovan has to deal with to get his team tournament tough.
Can I ask him about Georgia Southern winning last night against Florida in baseball? Can I ask him about that?
No, we don't care about that. Of course you can. And one football player who got in trouble apparently is okay. It'll be good news to hear for Gator football fans to know one of their guys, one of the starters, not in trouble with the law. All right, we'll take a break. We'll return next on The Voice of Ocala.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
Course bank approval. Vehicle purchase price fixed rate allowance offers no combined.
Are you bored, tired, and disgusted with your old car?
Hey, this is Cupid, Chris Spears from Prestige Auto Sales. I want you to love your car, so trade in the old car you hate.
Even if you're still making payments, even if you owe more than it's worth.
And I'll help you drive a nicer, newer car sooner than you ever thought possible. Plus, when you use your tax refund as a down payment, you'll get a lot nicer, newer car. So you can hook up with a car you love today.
Bad credit? Cupid got you down? Our For the People credit approval specialists are world-class matchmakers. They'll connect you with the lender most likely to approve your loan.
Hate your old car?
Dump it and fall in love with a nicer, newer car today, even if you owe more than it's worth or still making payments. Plus, turn your tax refunds into your down payment and save a lot on a car you'll love.
Hurry, this love fest ends when we match 57 people with a car of their dreams. I'm Chris Spears, and I'm a dealer for the people. Visit me in Ocala or Bellevue.
Online at PrestigeSaysYes.com.
Or call 694-1234. See you at Prestige.
Hi, I'm Lisa Midget with Kinetic Motion Fitness, Ocala's premier small group and personal training fitness studio. Did you know you can achieve all your fitness goals, whether that's losing weight, getting fit, or training for a personal best, all with no membership fees? Have you ever been embarrassed or intimidated at a big gym because you're not a Greek god or a size 0 supermodel? Have you ever felt like your gym would rather you not even show up? At KMF, we have a team approach that focuses on small classes and personal training, and you'll feel like family, not just another number. No more boring treadmills or endless reps. Our classes are fun, energetic, and get you the results you want. And I should know, with the help of our great trainers, I lost over 100 pounds in 8 jean sizes, and I did it using no heavy equipment and no magic pills, just fun and effective workouts. And yes, I did say fun. Come join us at KMF. Visit our website at kmfocala.com or like us on Facebook. Again, that was kmfocala.com.
Alice.
Yes, George.
Did you know I'm a truck driver now?
What?
I called Devon Self-Storage at 873-0777, and John and Mike now have a moving truck.
Are you cleaning out the garage?
Well, I do have time because Devon Self-Storage is open late, and they're right across from Hobby Lobby on 200.
You better call them first and reserve the truck.
Why?
So I'll know when there's room for the car.
Yes, Alice, yes.
What you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
Portion sizes have steadily increased over the past 20 years. During the same time period, obesity rates have doubled for adults and tripled for children. Modern technology distracts us more and more from the real world around us. The danger of being present but absent is that people lose touch with their emotions and have weaker social bonds. Adult professionals were least likely to want to hire people who use the word like excessively and incorrectly.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Hi, Brittany here from Mike Scott Plumbing. We're well into the new year, the world didn't end, and now you have all those New Year resolutions you haven't even started on. So here's an idea. Take the money you are going to waste on those late night infomercials for some weight loss gadget that doesn't even work, and do something that will work. Like a new bathtub, or that new kitchen sink you've had your eye on. Not only will it look good, but it would add value to your home. Did you know that Mike Scott Plumbing has a brand new showroom just across from the new Brownwood Square? In addition to the main showroom in Hernando? So wherever you are, it's just a short drive away. Let our showroom specialists get you one step closer to the kitchen and bath of your dreams. Call us today, 237-2888. That's 237-2888. And check us out on the web, MikeScottPlumbing.com. And remember, if water runs through it, we do it. Mike Scott Plumbing.
All right, time now to visit with Franz Beard for our Thursday Gator Report, and brought to you by Country Club of Ocala. And there's a lot to talk about today. In addition to basketball, we've got news about Luchez Purifoy, who was in trouble with the law, Franz, and now apparently the charges against Purifoy have been dropped, which means that I'm sure that Coach Muschamp is breathing a sigh of relief because Purifoy is a key player for them and plays both ways.
Well, Purifoy is definitely a player that the Gators have got to have, and you know, I think he's going to be strictly a wide receiver in the fall. I think that the Gators are so talented, have so many good young defensive backs coming back, and he can be an instant difference maker at wide receiver. He probably has the best playmaking skills of all the guys they've got coming back. Now, one of these freshmen like Ahmad Fullwood or DeMarcus Robinson, may prove to be his equal or superior, but for now, he's the guy.
I like him at secondary because he's good on coverage. He's a hitter. He's a pretty good size kid, and he can strike a blow. And I also think he's pretty good. Got enough speed to make a difference at wide receiver too. So maybe they'll play in both places. Who knows?
I think he's Betty. I think he'll probably play some. I wouldn't be surprised if they put him in there in nickel and dime situations late in games and things like that, as a sort of a free roaming guy to go after the ball or whatever like that. But I think his main purpose in life is going to be over on the offensive side of the ball this year. Particularly, they've got Vernon Hargraves coming in, and Hargraves is the best cornerback in the country coming in as a freshman, and Hargraves is going to play. Roberson's also really good on the other side. So there's not going to be a need there. There will be a need at wide receiver.
Speaking of the police blotter, the basketball player we arrested earlier this week, DeMontre Harris, what's that all about, and how he's a transfer from South Carolina, junior. Apparently he didn't have a valid driver's license, and I'm assuming he'll get that squared away on the driver's license. But can he play at all? Have you seen him at all? Is he worth?
I saw him play last year and the year before. He is a legitimate rim protector, terrific rebounder, shot blocker. As I understand from guys who have watched him this fall and in this early part of the spring, he has developed an offensive game, and he's going to be a real force next year. You're talking about a guy that's a legit 6'10" and about 245, 250 pounds, very mobile, and he will give the Gators a legitimate shot blocker next year. And you got to remember something. They're going to team him up next year with a guy named Dorian Finney-Smith, who is transfer from Virginia Tech, a guy that can play both sides, both ends of the floor, and can guard 5 positions defensively, can play 5 positions offensively, legitimately.
All right, one more police blotter note. We got time for a quick comment on Tebow and maybe basketball. And Tom's dying to talk about Georgia Southern, his team playing Gator baseball, but might not be able to do that today. Doug Johnson, who was accused of, obviously having a part in beating him a Gainesville man after a game, charges dropped against him. So I'm sure that he's breathing a little easier today. And
well, he should be. He should be. That was bogus from the beginning. I mean, I read that police report, and concocted is the best word that comes to mind.
Yeah. The story said that actually, the quote was that his lawyer says, "I've said from the beginning, my clients were the actual victims in this incident." All right, Tim Tebow, he's canceled his trip to speak to the Dallas Baptist Church because of their alleged prejudice against Muslims, Jews, homosexuals, etc. Are you surprised?
Yeah, I am. Yeah. But I think that probably Tim made that choice because he's also got a career to look out for, and he's gonna have a difficult time catching on with the team. Although the team I think he's going to end up with is the Philadelphia Eagles this year. Chip Kelly runs a spread offense, likes a running quarterback.
He and Urban are very close too, by the way.
And he and Urban are extremely close friends. Not only he and Urban very, very close, he and Dan Mullen also very, very close friends.